welcome to Checking In.
Welcome.
How is everybody tonight? You guys okay?
I'm doing wonderful, splendid.
All right.
Splendid like Splenda.
Amazing.
Artificial.
Oh, Jesus. You guys were not nearly as chipper 30 seconds ago before we were on. We were actually talking about, the one thing that is interesting with the situation we're in right now is food. Food is interesting. We were just talking about how some restaurants have it down and have really figured this out. And like Taco Bell, for instance, I'm not a big fast food guy. I think the only fast food we went to twice. Once to Arby's, which was the hugest mistake in my life because I haven't eaten Arby's in forever. And then we went to Taco Bell once.
And both of those we both had to resort to fast food because of restaurants failing us.
Failing us.
us.
Unbelievable. You would think 6 or 8 weeks into this mess, they would have it under control.
I'm telling you what, it's either you are nailing it or you suck and should just be closed.
Yeah,
they're
bad.
I don't want to get into too much detail right off the rip of the podcast just because we'll lose some listeners.
Sure.
But after I ate that Arby's, I'm telling you, like I said, not too much detail. 3 days though, okay? 3 days. And like I said, I really thought about it a lot, and I don't think I'm overreacting. Top 3 worst stomach pains of my life for 3 days straight.
Oh my gosh!
The Arby's
I remember we
me.
were all sick for a couple days.
I wasn't sick, but it was weird as hell because
thirsty.
all night. Yes, all night I got up and drank so much water
too much
all
salt,
night.
maybe.
Yeah, there clearly had to be
whatever's
so much
whatever's
salt
in
there.
Arby's is
because
not
I've never
beef.
had that. I just literally was dying of thirst all night.
Yeah. But Taco Bell has it together. Is what I was
crushing
saying.
it.
I mean, the drive-through was pretty good, and I only went there because we couldn't go to.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know this about you guys. Do you guys sleep next to your bed? Is there a glass of water that's by you?
I always have a drink. Yes.
A drink.
Yes.
You got water?
Yes.
Okay. I do just because
if I don't, it sucks because then I got to go downstairs.
Yeah, I wake up every single night, 3-4 times a night, and my tongue is like pasty.
You know what's
There's
bad
nothing
is, of
I
course,
can do.
we all our bedrooms are upstairs and the top of the house.
Okay.
And so obviously you guys know that, but they
terrible.
don't. But yeah, I've had times where I have not had a drink next to my bed.
Okay.
And you wake up and you're like, do I want to walk all the way downstairs?
It's not worth it.
And then you just go back to bed, and then an hour later you wake up and finally you're like, hell with it.
Riddle me this.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine this. Okay. We're in Africa. We live in teepees.
Yeah.
All right. You wake up, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Your mouth's freaking pasty, boy.
Yeah.
Do I get up and go to the stream?
Do I get up? Exactly. Do I get up and go to the river?
Well, listen,
right?
did I ever? Let me tell you a quick Africa story. I was in a place
Wait,
called. Go ahead.
What's the answer? Can we get the answer before we move on to your Africa story? Would
me.
you get up to the river or would you wait it out?
I would go to the river.
You would go to the river? I think I would wait it out. Wait it out, go to the river.
I don't know how far. No, you know what? I'd wait it out.
Wait it out, me
I
too.
would not go at night.
Me too.
To
Yeah,
a
there's
river
predators.
in
With
Africa.
crocodiles.
Yeah, I'm a risk taker, and what I'm going to tell you this story. I'm a risk taker. I was in a place called Ndumu, which is like Zulu
It's
land.
doom in the
like
name. Go
Ndumu.
ahead.
Zulu.
Yeah,
Isn't
Zulu.
that like black magic or a voodoo
No.
top
No,
of
so
the
what
world?
it is Shaka Zulu was the Zulu tribe leader, and he was unbelievable.
Wasn't it a movie too or something?
It might have been, but basically it was these tribes in Africa that that literally fought like the French army. And we're talking and so what they would do is they had so many people, and if Heidi's watching and I'm wrong, she's gonna laugh at me because she's from
Heidi,
South
light 'em
Africa.
up.
So anyways, point is, I hope I'm getting this right, Heidi. If I'm not, I apologize. And we've got a bunch of super chats right off the bat, so thank you guys. We'll get with you guys in a second here.
Yeah.
But Shaka Zulu was this, it was like a dancing type of a fighting, right? And they were going up against the French armies
fighting.
that
I
had
like that.
guns and stuff like this. And they would
they're
literally
dancing.
no, but they had they would do flips and knives and all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is how they would do it. They would literally, when the French army would come, they would send people to go do dancing to see how many would die, to judge how many people they should send to fight the army. Wow. So they would send a test group out to do these dances, and then the French army would kill them, and then they would report back oh, well, we better send 10 times that amount to get to where we need to be.
That's interesting.
But they defeated these huge armies
By dancing.
It was like a martial arts type of dancing.
This is like Jumanji. Like I like that. Like she was one of my favorite ones. One of her skills was like dance fighting.
Exactly.
Oh, the one girl, because she would distract the enemies with her voluptuous body.
And her dancing, and then she'd kick the shit out of them while she was doing
it. Wasn't quite that way, but...
Wait, how do you know? That actually could be exactly it.
Well, no, because actually when I was in Ndumu, we actually went and had
a Zulu
tribe dance for us. True people from the
and
Zulu
they didn't
tribe.
Kill you?
No, they did. It was like a ceremonial dance. Literally. So when we did it,
awesome.
I thought it was like we did so many cool things in Africa, and I'm about to get back to the story of what I was telling you, but but when my friend set this particular thing up, like we're gonna go see these Zulu tribe do this dancing, I thought, it's probably not that interesting. I'm telling you what, 45 minutes was maybe one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Was that on Brian in the Wild?
It was in Brian in the Wild. But it was only unfortunately, we used like 30 seconds in Brian in the Wild. Yeah. And actually, my editor wanted to cut it out 100%. I forced him to put it in because I was like, this was the most amazing experience, seeing these true Zulu dancers, and...
well, hey, I'm just going to throw it out there. You still have all that footage, right?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Dig that up, and then we can watch it.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, there's a ton of footage from Africa that didn't make it into Brian the Wild.
Let me edit it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to give you the hard drives.
I'm not asking for that shit. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
No, that was really cool. It was super cool. But anyways,
I'm just saying Friday night. We're gonna watch it.
That is really cool though, because it's a ancient tradition. Like it's different than. Exactly, it's passed down and it's unique because with us, let's say we might have like. Oh, we have a special scrambled egg with mint leaves or something, right? And you pass it down, and you're just like, well, this is all right. But then the Zulu tribe, they got these dance moves, these killer dance moves.
These guys pulled up in like 3 pickup trucks, right? So they didn't roll in on the horses.
The Zulus?
Yeah. There wasn't like horses. They were like packed in the back. But the thing is, this old guy was the leader of the thing. He had to be in his 70s or 80s, right?
Yeah. That's impressive.
Missing an arm. Apparently said he told me us he didn't speak English. He said a cheetah. He said a cheetah bit it off.
That's
fucking
that sounds better.
That was the story.
Dope.
And this fucking guy at 75, 80 years old, jumping, flipping, rolling.
No,
it was crazy.
Missing an arm. That's awesome.
And you're telling me you got this on film?
Have it all on film.
80-year-old man.
That's what I'm saying.
One arm doing flips. And their editor wanted to cut that out.
Yeah, he cut that part out. Like
he needs to get. You should. Oh my goodness.
So anyways, I was in Ndumu.
That's awesome.
The day before the Zulu tribe thing, maybe it was the next day. Regardless,
sure.
It was like 3-hour drive into the bush.
Okay.
Where there was like we stopped at a store, picked up a bunch of cases of water, went into to Ndumu, and we were going to be there for 2 days. And we're doing a bunch of different things like elephants and stuff like that. But anyways, on the morning we were about to leave, we had no water. And we were stayed in this house. It was interesting. We're like in the bush. I mean, like in the bush, big time, man. And obviously no cell reception, nothing, right? But there's this house. This guy was a wildlife manager, and he was able to live in this house. It was like a 3-bedroom ranch.
Okay.
A pretty nice little ranch.
Sure.
His name was Amos. Not a lick of furniture in the entire place. So this nice, pretty decent thing, no chairs, no anything, nothing.
Okay.
So we slept in this house, which was fine. So we woke up in the morning, we were about to head out. I was thirsty as hell. I was thirsty.
Yeah.
We were out of water.
Okay.
And so I walked over to the frickin' faucet and I drank from the faucet in the middle of Africa.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, even like my friends that were from South Africa that were with me, they're like, Brian, you probably shouldn't do that. I go, dude, I can't wait 4 hours to get back to that store.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to die. I said, I'll just take my chances. I was fine, though. I never got no problem.
Well, maybe that's how you came home with a little action, with a little cough or something.
No, I was good. I was actually sick when I was there, but I was healthy when I came back.
But the water helped you.
So,
yeah, it cured me.
Honestly, this is just ignorance. Why is the water bad?
It's like parasites and stuff like that in there. Yeah, it's just parasites and stuff like that that their bodies are used to these things, right? They're used to, and we're not. That's just like in what's it called, Montezuma's Revenge in Mexico,
right.
Okay. Speaking of which, I had a little touch of that from the ice from that taco place that we went.
I
ended up getting what's the milk, the cinnamon milk?
It's called
horchata. So I got some horchata, but it had ice in it.
Yeah.
And I was sick for a few days after that, not feeling.
And you think it was because of the ice?
I'm sure. Because that
was the only difference, because them tacos.
Oh, the tacos were
so
great.
Good.
Yeah.
I had no issues, and the only difference between what him and I had was he got the horchata. I did not.
Yeah, but also we all ate Arby's, and I'm the only one that got really messed up.
Yeah.
So
it's always possible, but
true.
Regardless, let's hit a couple super chats.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I just thought that was really weird that like ice can give you a little sickness.
Because
makes
water.
sense though.
Yeah,
Parasite.
Make it out of the water.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Bottled,
yeah, that's what they say. They say when
it.
you go to Mexico, if you're off like a resort, if you're off the resort, if you're off a resort, you shouldn't drink anything with ice.
That's really interesting. I would have never known that if you didn't tell me.
And I was drinking it kind of like, should I do this? But I was like, it tasted so damn good.
I'm sorry, because I'm the one who told you to get it.
I know, because I was just going to get I was just going to get a Fanta.
And then you get the real deal there.
And then one last thing. Was it better in Mexico than in like here in Detroit, Mexican town, or one of those?
It was pretty similar.
Similar?
To be totally honest.
Good.
But Mexican town here in Detroit is pretty
right.
legit. Yeah. It's pretty legit.
Well, that's.
I'm sure if you went to some other place,
when I eat there, I think that I'm like, wow, this tastes really authentic.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's authentic because I've never been to Mexico.
It is.
So it's good to know that it is similar and we're not getting like a ripoff.
It's just like anything. Different parts of Mexico have different flavors and stuff like that too. So
there's parts of a lot of parts that their main protein are bugs. Like maggots and stuff like that, like maggot tacos.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Yeah, let's not go there.
No, it's supposed to be good.
Okay. All right,
cool. All right, what do we got? Amy says, "Hey, need this podcast as our albino corn snake died earlier.
I'm
so
sorry, Amy.
Thank God the kids didn't realize it yet.
Oh God,
cried ever since. I'm so sorry, Amy. It does
sorry,
suck.
Amy. And you know what? Actually, I recognize your name. I think you might have made a purchase or something at the Reptarium. Not a video, not
maybe a shout out
to
or
her,
something
but
like
I think
that.
she might have bought some merch or something.
Thank you,
shout
Amy.
Out to
well, Amy, I'm sorry.
Sorry about
As a matter of fact, it is funny, Amy Tingle, because I was thinking about Jay Tingle.
Jay Tingle,
that's
me too.
why I remembered, because this morning when I saw it, I was going to say, "Oh, is this a relative?" And I saw she was not from U.S. So
and just so everyone knows, Jay was actually in the military, and he was called Private Tingle.
I know, isn't that incrable?
Private Tingle.
Not Jay, not this Jay.
No, not me.
Our other Jay.
The other Jay.
Yeah.
Private Tingle.
Private Tingle. Boston. What's a good protein? What's a good protein and temperature for a baby bearded dragon? Temperature should be like 82 cool side up to 110 degrees hot side. Protein is definitely, I would keep with, crickets. Don't go mealworms. You can go with small superworms. But crickets, roaches are the way. I like roaches personally. I think it's the best dubia. Roaches are really, really good.
Nice.
Courtney Bumpkin says, here you go. I told you I'd make more money and I'd have more weird job at the moment to where I'm being paid to sit in a chat room. Got to adapt to the COVID. But so you're getting paid to hang out with us?
That's it.
Think
That's what
so.
it seems like. Yeah.
Thank you so much, country.
Courtney.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because last time she literally donated her last $10 to Eric.
Gosh, that's right.
Bruce,
I remember that. I saw that in the chat. Yeah,
I know. And she was like, "Oh, this is half my money," and we were like, "Take it back," and then she gave us the other half.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you so much.
You guys are awesome.
But that shows good work ethic. She's like, you know what? You can have this because I know I'm gonna get some more.
Yeah, it really was. That's how she was. She was flexing.
That's awesome,
she was
man.
flexing.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. Good
Love
for you.
you.
Work hard. Heavenly Knees, my girl.
Gang, gang.
Gang. Happy belated Mother's Day, Lori. Much love to you guys. Will never fail to make my day. Thank you so
Heaven.
much. You make our day every time. She's always on your podcast as well, right?
Yeah, she's on every podcast. She's always killing it.
She's awesome.
Love
man.
the support from the loyal fans here.
Murphy Pink, hello all.
Hey Murph.
What's up, Murph?
Appreciate
Nicole,
the support.
hey all. Hope everyone's going well. Hey Nicole. Things are going well right now. Honestly, it's as good as it can be, I guess. How would someone become an employee there? Emily, it's interesting you say that. We might be hiring a couple people here pretty soon. Yeah, send a resume. I don't know if you're local or not. We are looking for a couple people. Animal working, as well as I'm thinking about hiring an animal educator. That can help me out with the virtual tours.
Openings. That's how you do it. Is you need a resume, send it.
Yeah, we want passionate, positive,
hardworking,
people that believe in what we do, like Jay.
Yeah.
People
like
that
Jay.
like to work, that
We
show
need,
up to work.
We need 10 more Jays.
that
I wish.
have reliable transportation.
Soulless.
That's an important one, please.
I always put that in my.
Yeah, reliable transportation. Soulless honky. Or did I miss one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just Nicole says you guys rock. I wish I could give more. Hey,
Thank you,
listen,
Nicole.
you're everyone's support, even in just the chat room. Obviously, we love you guys all. Thank you so much. And Heidi is in the chat, so I would love. I can't wait to hear what she says about my African story because I probably effed that up so bad.
It's okay.
Soulless honky as ever. Everyone, greetings from Portland. What's going on, Portland?
I'm sure you
Oregon
got
in the house.
Thank
Oh,
you,
shoot,
Soulless.
I missed a couple here. I'm sorry. Let me just hit a couple, and then we're going to move on to some other topics. Murphy Pink said, I'm the only one. I'm the only one giggling when Brian says Bush.
Am I?
Yes, you are. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
No,
know.
I giggle too, Murph.
In the bush. Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not go about your stories in the bush, please.
Yeah, Sharon, Sharon, hey, what's going on? Oh, you got your
keychain.
Tumblr and
Good.
keychain.
Hey.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Sharon, thank you so much.
Sharon.
We appreciate you.
When I saw you got that.
Yeah,
Yep.
so awesome. Yeah, I just was thinking about, Country Bumpkin says again, actually, it's another chat room. Oh, you're in another chat room, but hanging with us too. Double chat room.
Double chat.
I
Damn.
love it. Oh, you're in Troy. Oh my gosh, you're in Troy. That's awesome.
Send that.
Yeah, come hang
Send
out.
us your
Thingy.
resume. Yep.
Maybe
Yeah,
you'll
you can
get
always
lucky.
do
It's called a resume, Noah.
Send that thingy.
Yeah,
No,
Send that
Send that
it's a-
thingy.
no. Don't send the thingy. It's a resume.
Just send the thingy.
Let's see. The curl says, is it normal for a female Leo to go off of food? Mine's still healthy. Went from 86 to 79. Hasn't been eaten since. I mean, it's probably not that uncommon, and it could be an ovulation.
Could be.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't lose that much more weight.
always
79 grams is still pretty big.
Try different things.
Yeah,
Sometimes
different things, yeah.
they just might want something special to get them back onto food. And then
That's
you
true.
can do other things.
Yeah.
So whatever you're offering, try something different.
Yeah.
Switch it
A
up,
lot of times
baby.
that helps.
Yeah, the whole Bush story I was going to say was that it goes back to where my therapist had heard
Oh,
that-
yeah,
the
yeah.
pussy
therapist-
hunter, the
Oh,
pussy
God.
hunter thing.
Oh
Jesus.
my
Where-
God. We
And it
talked
was funny.
about this,
Yeah, I know
didn't
we talked
Yeah.
about it, but
Okay.
it was just funny because that voicemail is
embarrassing.
hilarious from Pete. I'm going to see if I can pull that
We
up.
already
Did we
pulled it
pull
up.
it up
Yeah,
about in the bush?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
we
like
did.
Brian's in the bush.
Yeah.
So it was a
Pussy
good one.
hunter.
Yeah, the fucking pussy hunter.
The
Anyways,
pussy hunter.
let's jump into the title right off the bat. You know,
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do
what
it.
I wanted to talk about first is a lot of people. You know, well, the title was "How did Lori get into snakes?"
How did that happen?
How did that happen? You know, it's funny because a lot of people often make the mistake when they come hang out with us and they'll say like, you know, Lori, can you talk my girlfriend into to liking snakes? And I always say like, that's
Wrong
the
tree.
wrong choice of way to go. She's
I
like,
usually encourage them to run.
yeah, she's like, get away as quick as you can. But the truth is and I was trying to think about this earlier. I think maybe even a couple days ago, I was thinking about this, and I was a little bit foggy about, you know, first off, I lived in my mom's basement. I guess, I don't know, I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere, but there was, I had a reptile room. You know, that was a pretty nice reptile room that I had a bunch of reptiles in.
Especially back in the day.
Yeah, especially back in the day. I mean, obviously it was, you know, there was no manufactured cages, so they were all built cages and stuff like that. But I probably had, I don't know, close to 80, 100 snakes, something like that maybe.
In that basement?
Oh, when we left that basement, we had probably 500 snakes.
What?
So, well, listen. Okay,
Holy
the
crap.
difference
Yeah.
is back then,
Yeah.
what was available readily were like colubrids
Yeah.
and very small stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Yeah, we had almost all colubrids, but we had
Yes.
carpets.
So
We
you
did
could
have berms,
fit,
though.
If you figure, like,
But-
they don't take big amounts of space.
But we
so
did
you
have a
can
bunch of
yeah.
berms there,
But
too.
you can't-
There wasn't a bunch, no.
You can't
Well, there's-
downplay that
You
500.
had that one rack on the wall
Yeah.
that had 4 cages, big cages.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
I
it.
think they actually had, I think it had 2 sets of 4 cages. So I think there was 8 cages.
I got the picture.
Okay, let's see it. So it doesn't,
And this is what marriage is.
doesn't matter.
Live look. Do you want it? Rethink.
Doesn't matter. Point is that when we met, you didn't even want to come into my reptile room.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
I
she
was
was-
not
yeah.
interested.
I know
in
she
the
probably
reptile.
thought it was something else. You want to see my snakes, baby? Hell no.
That was exactly how it went.
No,
too.
I remember her standing at the door and not coming in. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like standing at the door going, I'll just stay out here right now, you know? So,
Well, can I, before we get in,
Mhm.
can I say that how Lori got into it is true love.
true love.
It's true love.
It's true.
She accepted you for who you were, and she, adapted she adapted your life into her life because of love.
No, I mean, I do agree with that. I don't know about the love part, but the whatever.
She adapted for sure.
Yeah. But no, I think that would happen. And why I was saying I was cloudy is I want to talk about albino Burmese in a second, but and did I have albino Burmese when we met, or did we buy them together? We bought them together. Okay, interesting. That was the part I couldn't remember. I remember we produced them together, but I couldn't remember if I had the babies or not.
No,
so
that was after the fact. And then, well, like you said, when we met, it was one thing. By the time we left, we had moved
the whole
out
basement.
of that. Yeah, we had moved out of that room into
the whole basement.
Because we together, like I started working at the fish store with you, the pet store.
Pet
and
vendor.
then we started getting a bunch of fish tanks.
Oh, yeah.
Because you and I would go and buy the fish for the pet stores, and we're like, oh my God, these are cool. Like similar to an Eric and Mary situation, I suppose. I was more into the fish. And we had so many fish tanks.
Yeah,
so
we had
many
a ton
cool
of
fish.
bettas.
Oh
We had we had arowana. We had
Oh my
angelfish.
God.
We had
If I could
discus.
we had discus.
Discus are cool.
I love the discus, and I had like the what are those? The lace.
Oh,
angels.
lace angels.
I love
I had
angels.
so many beautiful. But then we had to get rid of the fish to make room for all the
Yeah,
big
to make room
snake
for the
cages.
reptiles.
Damn.
And we ended up moving. Ultimately, we ended up moving out of the basement because we lived with my mom for a little while before we bought our first house, and we moved out of the basement upstairs so that we could take where our room was downstairs and turn it into a snake room.
Yep.
So the whole basement, I mean, every inch of that basement was taken
Really?
up with snakes.
Except for the laundry room.
Except for the laundry room. But I remember one morning my mom flipped out because she walked in to the laundry room. She worked, I think she'd get up at like 5 in the morning, go to work, and she would, come down there and do her laundry or whatever it was in the morning. And when she comes screaming and yelling, and a big carpet python was in the doorway.
A carpet?
Yeah, it got
how big?
It
Like
was
how
like
big?
a 9-footer.
9.
Adult carpet.
Yeah. And then ultimately, it's funny, when we finally bought our house, we moved most of the snakes, but we had some of the snakes still there just as we were building out the stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a Brazilian rainbow boa got out of a cage because I probably didn't shut it right. And it got behind and opened up a tub of baby Burmese pythons.
No.
How many?
So there's like 20.
And they all got
They
out?
were all out.
They
And so,
did.
again, she called. Now, we're living in our first house. And
But the whole basement is a reptile room still.
No. There's only
basement.
about
Just
a little
part of it.
little part of
Little
it.
part,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Some
we had
of them
moved
got
most of
out.
it. Yeah, and she had a dog named Spunky, this cocker spaniel.
Spunks.
And Spunk, she called me at 5 o'clock in the morning because Spunky got bit in the nose by a baby Burmese.
She told me this story. Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
So mad.
She's like, you get over here. So I had to wake up at 5 in the morning, drive like 20 miles to come get the little baby.
Wait a second. Plus, like, I don't know if your sister. I
Oh,
don't
it
think
was my
she
sister,
lived
yeah.
there.
No, she
but
didn't
she
live
was
there.
staying there,
Yeah,
and she
she's-
had a duffel bag.
Yeah, she went to
and
work.
A snake was
Shut
in
up.
the
She went to
duffel
work,
bag.
opened her duffel bag up, and there was a snake in it. It was a green
baby
It was a
Burmese.
green Burmese python. Oh,
Dude,
God.
And he wonders why his family was so mad at him.
that is fucked up.
I know, yeah.
Listen, I like snakes. Like, I'm not even scared of snakes.
But you don't want to find
And
it when you're not expecting
Exactly.
Them like that.
Let's say I went to the gym or something to go play
Right.
basketball.
And you open your
I have
bag.
my duffel bag. I open up to grab my sneakers, and then
there's
there's
a
a
Burmese.
snake.
Yeah.
I would probably like pee a little,
Yeah.
like just out of scare. And Auntie Cindy and Grandma,
yeah,
you know what I mean? These people do not enjoy
like snakes. No,
like
exactly.
they're terrified, especially Nanny. Like Nanny, like that's just to provide some backstory. When she sees the carpet python in the middle of the doorway, she probably's like swearing.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
This Catholic woman, you know what I mean? Very Catholic, had her rosary and everything, swearing, doing Hail Marys.
She probably was grabbing her rosary.
she probably was
praying over
squirting with holy water. Holy water, go back to hell, Satan, you serpent.
Yeah, I think that it was interesting. My stepdad really did, even probably maybe not when he passed away several years ago, but for a long time he felt that all the misfortunes that our family had was based on my snakes.
He did.
No way.
Yes,
Yeah, he
did.
really felt it. He thought that it was an omen that we shouldn't have snakes.
That's crazy.
He felt snakes were evil, and that
And guess
everything
what?
that happened in our life that was not good was because of my snakes.
And guess what? everything good in life is because of snakes. We wouldn't have any of this without snakes.
No, and that's the thing. But he was old school.
Exactly, and that goes back to because he was much older than your mom too. And that's just unfortunately the stigma that snakes had for a very long
I don't think
time.
he ever even. It was crazy because he allowed all those snakes in the basement. And he was a great. My dad was awesome. He just didn't like snakes. But it was crazy that he lived in a house full of snakes.
Well, this was the thing, though. Technically, it was your mom's house.
Yeah, but still, he had to put up with it.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think he could have. Your mom would take your side.
Which is wild.
I don't remember because obviously we were moved out and in different houses by the time I was alive and sentient. Okay, be able to have memories and stuff. Did Nanny's house smell like snakes, or was it just the basement?
It must have. I know we had like a little vent on the basement, but like when we moved into our house and we started keeping snakes in the basement for a few years, we actually had an air purifying system to where you couldn't smell it upstairs.
That's good.
But I don't think we did at my mom's. Now, I don't remember. Okay. I don't recall.
I was just thinking about because I know that a lot of people, even if they don't own reptiles that come into the reptarium, they can be surprised, like, oh, like, we're just used to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't even smell to us at all, you know? And I have heard, I mean, most people will be like, oh my God, it smells so much better than I expected in here. But still, some people are like, oh my God.
One of my favorite lyrics from a rapper, Mac Miller, rest in peace, buddy. Yeah. In one of his songs, he said, I've been in this shit for so long, it don't smell.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've been in this shit for so long it don't smell.
It's so true.
So regardless, Lori, started helping and stuff like that with the reptiles. I think it was mainly just because, we had so much work and if we were going to go out and hang out, on a Friday night with friends or something like that, we'd have to feed all the snakes and clean all the snakes. So slowly, Lori you just started helping out, and then you just became kind of part of what we did, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. But the thing that was interesting, that, like I said, what I was trying to figure out was the albino Burmese pythons. I mean, people may not understand that, like, BHB, really what started BHB was albino Burmese pythons.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that was like because that was the first investment snake, period, right? Like, prior to Burmese pythons, nobody did it professionally. You know what I mean? Like, no one made money on snakes. We all just bred stuff. Like, when I started breeding snakes, there was no money in it. There wasn't a future. I just did it because I loved it. Yeah. You would sell a couple things. You would trade some stuff. You do. You know what I mean? It was like there was no.
Even at that point, it was the infancy of even like
morphs.
Swap meets.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, trade shows didn't exist.
Yeah.
You would have just like what is it? I don't know.
Yeah, Millersport.
Started to where it was like once a month.
Oh no, it wasn't even once a month. It was like twice a year.
Yeah,
it was
so
like
it's
twice
like,
a year.
And that's the thing, like that, and then herp societies where maybe you would trade amongst each other, not even sell, but like
there was a Michigan Herp Society that you would go to, like a monthly meeting, and maybe you'd bring a couple snakes that you produced, and this guy would have a couple snakes, you'd trade them off. It hardly ever made any money, which that's one of the things I really wanted to do, and once we opened up the Reptarium and had that birthday party room, that was like high on my priority list to start a herp society. Like with monthly meetings at the Reptarium. So it was kind of a bummer that got cut short right now. So whenever life gets back to it, I would like to get back to that. I think it would be really cool because that would be a nice little area where people can come, sit down. We can, we have the TV if we want to do presentations and just have some, something to do once a month at the Reptarium on a Wednesday night or something like that, like we used to. Because that's really where the passion started for me, was at the herp societies and stuff. But
that'd be cool, kind of like a AA.
Yeah,
but like RT reptile talk.
Yeah, reptile talk.
Hi guys, I am a reptile addict. I have 32 snakes.
Yeah, that ain't no shit, man. It is addictive, but yeah. So interestingly enough, like I said, albino Burmese came around, and it really changed. Bob Clark obviously was the one that produced the first albino Burmese, but he was still working a job. Okay. And then we were just talking about Eugene Bassett. Our friend down in Florida, Eugene and Cindy, we were talking about it yesterday during dinner. and you said, she said that they watched the unboxing vlog, and you were like, oh, why is that? And I said something like, that makes me nervous, and you said, why would that be? And I just said, because he was a legend,
Oh, yeah,
he is a legend.
You were
he was one of the founders.
You were saying he was the first to ever
first to quit his job.
Quit his job.
First to quit his job and be a full-time reptile breeder.
That's cool.
It's so crazy. I guess it was so long ago. It doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel like it, but yeah, I mean, literally, it was like it was the buzz of the internet. No, there was no internet back then. It was the buzz of the word, like people be calling you up. And I was thinking about that. Remember my old phone that I had that was like the headpiece that had the little wire that had the little thing that was on my belt?
That was a landline.
Yeah, it was a landline, but instead of having it was like still even.
It was like the cordless phone, but it was a headset cordless.
Yeah, so that way.
Like corded
phone.
But, Radio Shack. They had the best stuff.
And it was as big as these headphones.
No way,
it was like with this big microphone.
You had a thing and a little thing that clipped on your belt.
Yeah, so you could answer and dial from your belt.
That's awesome.
That was high tech shit.
And was it portable?
Yes,
or were you connected to a wall?
No, you were
this
portable.
This one was portable. That's why we got it.
But yeah, so that way I could
That's
feed.
Awesome.
I could feed. And there were times where I was like, it was like 2, and there was a couple people, like friends of mine, like Keith Wisner that passed away recently, and a couple other guys. I'd be talking to these guys at like 2:30 in the morning, feeding snakes on my portable thing. We'd have like 3-hour conversations as I'm feeding my snakes, and it was like almost every night. But regardless, everyone's calling everyone like, did you hear Eugene quit his job? Man, he's going full time. But that was really Burmese pythons that did that. Much like people, went on this ball python craze where everyone followed the ball python. Burmese were that way back in the 90s, early 90s.
They were the new thing that came along that nobody had, and then you started morphs, and then
there was green, albinos, then greens, and then labyrinths came out.
Green are still one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're really amazing.
They're really
so somehow, they were $3,200 a pair, and I was like 18, something like that, and I somehow talked my mom into letting me spend every dollar I had for like my college fund and even cashed out like my insurance policy.
What?
And we spent every dollar on a pair of albino Burmese babies. And I remember being in Mark Bell's living room, sexing them. There was like 30 babies, and they're biting the shit out of us, man. Just biting the shit. And I just remember being so geeked, like, I get to pick out a pair, And we picked out the pair, and ultimately, 2 years later, we produced 22 babies. And I remember that day was really crazy because remember, there was like, we've been breeding Burms a couple years before that. So, sometimes you have egg binding, you have infertile eggs,
Sure.
And remember, like, that albino male was like breeding normal females, but only bred the albino one time. Like one time the whole season. And I was like, what the? Yeah, that we saw. But I was, I was down there constantly checking and stuff like that. So I remember when she finally started laying, like being like, oh my God. Because again, now they were down to maybe like $750. But you think about $750 per egg, and we produced 22 eggs. Not to mention she produced a whole bunch of hets. That year from breeding to normals. But I remember, like, I was so excited that I opened up the thing. She has this pile of eggs, and I go to push her out, and she fucking rails me, man. Just like destroys my hand right in my knuckles.
He didn't even look at what was going on with the animal. He was just like, hey. And she just lit him up.
And literally, my knuckle for like 2 years was messed up. Because I think she might have like had a finger like inside my knuckle. Tooth, not finger. Tooth that was inside my.
Weird if your Burm had fingers.
Yeah. But that's how it started, and
that's cool. It is cool. That's not like being facetious or anything. But I just want to get into, because that was kind of a perspective of you guys together.
Yeah.
I want to get more into just mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Let's say, what was the first memory you have where you were like, okay, let me give snakes a shot. Let me hold one, or let me open up a cage. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to get out of you? Like, what was your first memory where you're like, okay, let me give this a shot?
Yeah.
Well, I think it goes back to, like I said, the dating times to where, Mr. like, oh, if you help me, feed will be able to leave quicker. And I'm like, okay. And clearly, like most people, it's like, well, I'm going to stick with the small stuff. So anything that was a baby, you know, it was not as scary.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay. So I think one of the first snakes that kind of really won me over were like the baby corn snakes. Yeah. Because at that point, same thing, you were just starting to get the mutations. Yeah. I know we had like some of the first like hypomelanistic corns and albinos and stuff like that. So they're babies, they're tiny,
they're cute.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's kind of I think what kind of got me into it. And then it's just like anything, I guess, when you're around stuff enough,
you're used to it.
Yeah, you just kind of get used to it. You kind of gain the knowledge just because these guys. God, it's so funny how different it is too. Because back then everybody was so into all the Latin names.
Yeah, we all like talk Latin.
It was never a corn snake. It was Elaphe gutata.
Now it's Pantherophis.
No, now it is. No, back then it was Elaphe gutata. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like I don't even know what the hell these guys are talking about. They're talking these different languages. But then guess what? Over time, I knew what they were talking about because you hear it enough. Not that I cared, and I didn't learn it on purpose, but it's just by absorption.
Yeah.
And then honestly, it got to a point to where obviously, we were younger and together. And then we had our daughter. And
your daughter.
I always
my daughter.
We had our daughter.
We had my daughter.
We had my daughter. Was pregnant with my daughter.
I know you did that in the last podcast. By the way,
did I do that too?
Yeah, somebody like donated, and you're like, "Yeah, my daughter's doing fine." And then we panned over to Mom's face, and she was just like you could tell she was thinking, "It's my daughter. I put in the work." 9 months.
I don't mind working, but I did always want to be a stay-at-home mom. I grew up, my mom was a single mom for most of my life, and she always had a job. So this was a way, working with the snakes, that I would be able to be at home. So that's, so
I got to tell you this story real quick. No, you'll love this one.
Okay.
So Mom's pregnant.
Okay.
With my daughter.
Jade.
With my daughter. and she's due. She's big. She's ready.
She's ready to pop.
She's ready to pop. I come home from work. She has revamped the entire basements of snakes. There's bedding everywhere. She's just like the whole shit. Like the whole place is spotless. Dude. I mean, and then her water broke. I mean, she like that day, the day she went to the hospital, she working hard. She cleaned the entire basement of snakes. The entire basement of snakes.
Sounds about right.
And
I know.
And then
I don't remember that.
I remember because I remember coming home from work. It was 9. I worked at 9 o'clock. I worked at the pet shop. Came home. I was home at like 9:15. I was tired. I was super tired, and I go downstairs, and there's like bedding all over the floor, and she's like, "Yeah, I just revamped all this stuff." Like she had all this, and then literally 10 minutes later, she's like, "Oh my God, my water broke," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, we gotta go to the hospital. This is really happening. This is really happening."
Yeah. And then this is really interesting to me. Was it like, I don't know why this is interesting to me. Were you like in the car and you're like,
no,
not at all.
Not at all. So I guess,
or is that just movies?
I was everybody's different. Let me just say, everybody's labor and everything is different. I was very fortunate because I didn't even know. And I guess thinking back, I guess I had been kind of having contractions, but it was like, it wasn't pain. It was just kind of like uncomfortable. And I didn't really think about it. But then I knew when my water broke and I was like, holy shit.
You're like, I think that means I'm ready.
I'm not going to lie. No, I freaked out. Mentally, I was like, because that's exactly it. Because I was like, oh, fuck. This is happening.
It's real.
I don't want this to happen. I can't stop this. This baby has to come out, and I don't want to go through it. It was terrifying.
I can't imagine.
Because I don't know. They probably do now. They make you watch the movies, which I'm going to just say, just don't watch them.
Why would you watch the movies?
I was fine till I watched the movie, and I was like, oh my God,
don't watch the movies.
I can't do this.
Because
and that's all that flashed in my head. As soon as my water broke, I was like, oh shit, no. I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
Because when you watch the movie, then you have the visualization of it happening. But if you never watch the movie, you're going in blind. Exactly. So you're like, well, how bad could it be? How bad could it be? Push it out, baby. Go.
Yeah.
But I don't know
but no, it was. I was
me.
just like, okay. Yeah, honestly, I didn't think I was like, oh no, because that's what you said. I was like, well, wait a second. This is supposed to be excruciating pain and this and that. And I told your mom, I was like, oh yeah, we'll probably come back. And she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, no, and obviously, and when it gets to a point, obviously it gets more intense or whatever. But
you said, it's 9:00. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go have a baby real quick.
I'll be right back.
I still have a couple rows of cages to clean later on.
I didn't think that was a because it wasn't that.
That's what happened. Seriously, when she said her water broke, I said, "Can you just hit that last rack over there before we get going?"
Yeah, come on. Because guess what would have got hit? The side of your head.
But it was nice that, like your mom said, that it was nice,
that she had got everything clean.
No, what I was saying was it was nice that it gave us the ability that she could stay home with my daughter.
With my daughter.
That was the thing that was good, is that although you may have worked, I mean, certainly as the years went on, you probably worked harder at home than you could have at a normal job. At least we always had. I mean, you guys were both, Jade and you were raised in a little playpen. While we were cleaning snakes.
With a little VCR, a VHS tape
Playing
player,
Toy Story.
watching Toy Story.
Again?
Oh, he loved it.
I remember there was
We
this.
still do.
Yeah.
I remember there was this
a banger.
one employee, Damien,
Oh my God, no teeth.
and
Oh my God.
and so it's really interesting because guys, like I said, this story.
Wasn't he on the Tiger King?
I don't know.
Shut up.
he kind of looked like him.
Yeah, he looked
like the guy without teeth.
Yeah,
honestly, he really did. This story is really useless, but it's just a memory in my head that I'm going to share with the people.
Sure.
So like I said, I'm trapped up in a little playpen, all right? I think I was taking a nap in one of the rooms, okay?
Yeah.
This is one of the first buildings
That was by the lake.
Chewy,
That was by the lake, wasn't it?
with Chewy, potentially.
No, probably Jeff-
I don't think this
no.
was Fish Fly.
He
Yeah,
only-
this was the
he
one
only
before
worked
that.
at no, it was the one after that. It
Van
was the one
Dyke.
on Van Dyke.
Oh.
Okay.
It's
Small-
interesting
It was
that we're
small.
back on Van Dyke
It was
again,
real
right?
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it was real small.
Yeah.
So basically, I just remember napping, and then I remember he like came in with an egg salad sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
And he was eating this egg salad sandwich, and he smelled. And looking back at it now, it was cigarettes. Okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm literally a child / toddler.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, this guy smells bad. And he's eating this nasty looking sandwich.
Yeah.
So forever until, like I said, until not recently, until I got older, I thought that egg sandwiches smelled like cigarettes.
Ew, no way.
And
That's
so I was
funny.
disgusted by eggs,
Oh my gosh,
like
that's
egg
interesting.
salad stuff because
Interesting.
I linked cigarettes
Yeah.
and that together.
Isn't that crazy?
And he
Makes sense.
smoked a very unique cigarette
I
that
think it was like a clove or something.
right, like, it was
yeah.
something that when I smell it now,
spicy.
I think Damien.
Okay.
And
That's
it's like
so funny.
it's really messed up because it's something that I'll never forget,
Yeah.
and it's something that's very useless.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
when
it's ruined egg salad.
that funny?
Sandwiches.
egg
for-
egg salad sandwiches, and then also like I said,
Let me
everyone
tell
has
you.
those memories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Correlated with smell.
Yeah.
And
smell,
it's like, why did that
still do
one
this-
memory
yeah.
get stuck in my head
It is
forever?
weird how it is. I still have the memory of. I mean, again, it's probably a terrible memory, but I remember my dad striking a match. The smell of sulfur,
Ooh,
and
I
then
love
I
that
remember him
smell.
accidentally burning me
Ooh.
with the cigarette that he lit.
So when you smell the
so
match, do you remember that
so I
memory?
think of I remember everything
Yeah.
about every time I smell a match, I think of that memory of my dad, because I only have a handful of memories of my dad, and that's one of them. Which is weird, right?
Unless you have it, I can remember this one if you want to share a smell that you have. But if you don't, then I can share another one. Because this one's really weird too. It's just weird. Like I'm just thinking about these smells. Like
Yeah.
I have smells exactly like that. Uncle Lee. I have a smell that reminds me of Uncle Lee.
Is it skunk weed?
Nope.
That's good.
not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Skunks.
What is
It's
it?
the gas on the stovetop.
Oh, you told me about
Really?
that.
Why?
Because he was obviously just high every day.
Yeah.
And because every time I'll go over to his apartment, he would make me something, maybe like a little cheese tortilla or something, right? And for some reason, he would always let the gas go, and like he
have
couldn't
to light the burner.
Yeah,
like
so
he lived in really shitty apartments, so the igniter probably didn't work.
Right, yeah. So the whole apartment would smell like gas, and now every time that I turn on the stove, I have the very visual memory of me in his apartment, which isn't a bad thing. Like it's cool, but it's just weird.
You know, interesting tying Uncle Lee to Damien. I just said his name. Oh, well. Hopefully he's not listening. Did we say it?
No, we already said
He said Damien, no teeth.
Are you telling the chocolate milk story?
The chocolate milk story.
Wait, tell me. I don't know. I don't know if I know this.
So of course, Unks worked for us, and Damien worked for us at the same time. And so Damien has like a chocolate milk, like this size chocolate milk, and it's like halfway done.
Okay.
And Unks comes up, goes, "Let me get a swig of that." Just grabs it and just starts swigging it. And to this day, everyone's just like, "Oh my God, you drank after that." I mean, that guy didn't have any teeth; they were rotting away. No. You know, there's all that backwash in that chocolate milk, and he just like
crushed it.
Yeah, he just drank the whole thing down like nothing. Man.
That's awesome.
That's Unks.
He had a little regret, but not much.
He loved chocolate milk. That's why. I remember every
milk.
time we would go out to a restaurant, no matter where we were, it would be dinner time. Let me get a glass of chocolate milk.
Dude, that's my shit.
Yeah, he was like 30-something years old. He still get chocolate milk every single time. So do you have a memory of a smell before we move on?
Yeah. It's like if you smell one thing, it just brings you back.
I'm the worst. I have a lot of things that do, but I can't remember.
Can't remember.
It's probably that Wix cheese.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Look at her face. Like, what?
Those two things are the ones that are cemented in the two that I share.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
It's a weird thing for me. Like, you know, your mom knows this about me. Like, I have a crazy memory. You know what I mean? Like, I remember back to when I was 2 years old.
Yeah,
and so I have thousands of those memories. That it's not just two. I mean, thousands and thousands of smells and thoughts. I mean, sometimes I can be just driving and the wind will blow a certain way at my hair, and I'll remember when I was 3.
And
you know,
and that wind.
And, and it's just you know, it's a little haunting, to be totally honest with you, because I have so many memories that I wish I could get rid of a lot of them, to be honest with you.
Dad, so that's obviously where I get it from. So, my girlfriend, we talk a lot. Obviously, she's my girlfriend, and with this quarantine, all we do is talk. We can't even see each other, and like I don't know, we get deep about things and stuff, and I try to explain my perspective of life sometimes and stuff like this. And I'm a very visual person in the sense where a lot of times I'll zone out. So I'll be like right here, and then I'll just zone out, right? And I swear on everything that I'm not looking at my eye. I'm not looking at this.
Oh, no, you're seeing something playing in your head.
I'm seeing another memory.
Yeah.
And I'm living through this memory, and I'm just zoned out like this, and I'll snap out of it. And then I look like a crazy person on the camera. They're like, man, this motherfucker's high as hell. But honestly, I'm just like living in a different world.
I know, you're just...
I'm so visual. It's so weird. Like, I told my girlfriend this thing that I do, which I really thought that everyone did, but a lot of people, I guess, don't do this. So when I go to bed at night, I make my own dreams. I create my own
dreams. I used to do that when I was a kid,
I go to sleep. I mean, I can do it right now. I close my eyes.
Just compelling footage. Compelling footage. All right, on the podcast, let's watch Noah go to bed.
But what I mean, not the go to bed part, the visual part. I can close my eyes and I can make whatever I want to see in my head.
That's awesome.
And I tell my girlfriend this.
Isn't it like lucid dreaming?
She thinks you're lying.
And no, she doesn't think I'm lying because I'm being sincere. She thinks that it's weird.
Crazy.
She's just because like I tell her, I'm like, okay, so if you close your eyes, what do you see? And she's like, it's pitch black. I don't see anything. And I'm like, when I close my eyes, it's a bunch of colors and a bunch of dots and a bunch of
you know what's interesting
shapes.
about that is crazy.
And it's like I can morph the shapes into whatever I want.
Well, you know what's crazy about that is I can't do it as much anymore. But when I was young, I used to see what I would consider our aura, and it was blue with black dots. And so when I would close my eyes, slowly the blue and black dots would grow, and the whole circumference of my head would be surrounded by blue and black dots. So it almost like the sky. It was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, as I got older, I lost the ability to do it.
That's what there's a word for that, for the experience of the dots and stuff. And it actually, because I've been researching it, and it's sadly true that it's a common in a lot of people as the older they get, it goes away.
Yeah, because
just your body gets older. And
can I jump onto a dream really quick? Because I did want to talk about this. This was crazy, and it just makes you. And by the way, we'll get to super chats here.
I got them all saved.
Yeah, cool, excellent. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you guys so much. So this is bizarre. First off, last night I had a bunch of weird dreams, like kind of like tragic-y dreams, like like tragedies and stuff like that. And so one of the dreams was we were flying in a plane. And we had to land in a river because the plane was going down. We had to land in a river. Thankfully, we all lived. Guess what's in my suggested videos today when I fucking open YouTube? The Miracle on the Hudson.
That's wild.
Legitimate, where they landed the plane on the freaking water. How did that happen?
That's so crazy.
I don't know, but I'm not flying with you.
I mean, is that crazy though? I literally, I've never seen that video in my suggested feed ever before.
Yeah.
And literally, I had the dream last night, not about that particular one, about us on a plane and it happening, and it comes
That's
up.
Weird.
I mean, I'm sure it's just complete coincidence, or we're in the Matrix.
Can I share another thing real quick? And again, I know that people may think I'm crazy, but I really don't care. Because this is my life, and this is legitimately the truth, and you can take it for what you choose. I get glimpses of the future. I literally will sometimes have these visions where it will be like I said, I'm zoned out. I get like a 3-second clip of the future, and I don't realize it's a future at the time.
Right.
And then a few weeks will go by. And then all of a sudden,
it'll happen.
Like deja vu. Like,
and all of a sudden, it's just like it's happening. And then I go, and then I challenge myself. I say, okay, what happened in the vision? Okay, is this gonna happen? And then boom, it happens. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm just like, I literally saw this 2 weeks ago, and I just predicted the future with my vision.
Yeah.
What is that? It happens all the time, by the way.
Maybe you're psychic.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people that have gifts like that. I mean, that's it's a good thing. Actually, ironically enough, and I think they, if you believe that, which I do believe it.
If you see something bad with me.
Yeah.
Give me a heads up.
Okay. Give me the heads up.
I'll give you the heads up.
Heads up. Yeah.
Wrecking ball. All right. What happened in the vision? What happened in the vision?
But I believe in psychic. I believe in paranormal. I believe in all that stuff. You know that. But our Aunt Helcha was psychic. She used to.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I hadn't.
She used to see. She used
his
to.
Aunt Helcha.
It's my godmother.
So it's your great aunt.
Who, weirdly enough, that was a weird. Remember this happened? Like
I didn't know that.
She's still alive. She's like 90-something years old. And I haven't talked to her in forever.
I didn't even know she was a person.
But interestingly enough, what happened a couple months ago, remember when I had a dream that Aunt Helcha came to me and said she passed away.
Yes.
And then the next day, her son's wife called you. Yeah. And you hadn't talked to her in like a year. And I was like,
it was a missed call, too. It was a butt dial.
Yeah, it was a butt dial. And I was like, if she calls to tell me Aunt Helcha died, I'm going to freak out. Because Aunt Helcha obviously was like 90-something years old. But when she came to me, and she was young, like in her 20s, and said she passed away. Obviously, she didn't, because when you called her back, it was something completely unrelated.
That's weird. And I'm not saying I'm a fucking psychic.
Right.
I'm just telling you, the people, whoever's watching, you guys in the room, the way I see my life and things that happen in my life.
With a crystal ball seeing somebody's future.
No.
But yes, you can be psychic from the standpoint that sometimes things just come to you.
Like like I said, I obviously get it through you because of the experiences you're sharing, and like I said, we have a lot of similarities in that aspect, and it's cool to know that. Like I said, I didn't know about that Aunt Helcha or whatever her name is.
And she predicted all kinds of things over, because my mom obviously, was with it. She predicted all kinds of things. You'll have to talk to my mom about that.
I want to talk to freaking Aunt Helcha.
I don't know what kind of hell she's in at this point. She's in her 90s. She might be okay. I don't know. We should reach out to her. We really should. I mean, I feel bad that I've lost contact with her.
Awesome.
As of that last I heard, she was still living on her
own in her 90s.
In Hamtramck, in her house.
In Hamtramck. Oh, she's close.
I think her son lives at her house.
We should.
But she was lucid and just, she was very much like, no, she's going to be like I am. Like, I am living on my own. You ain't putting me in a damn home.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to make the whole podcast about this, but it's just really strange to me that I had like these things occur to me. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my visions are video ideas. A lot of my visions are creative ideas to, whether it be a merch design, whether it be me seeing myself filming a video, and then I go, what video is that? Oh my God, that's a great idea. Yeah. I'm not even thinking about it. It's getting served to me through something.
I've talked about this before, about how, I believe in this. I really do. I believe that the universe is giving out
ideas,
and knowledge and stuff. And the Einsteins of the world and Nikolai Teslas of the world, they all said that. They said that the universe would give. And I've said most of my ideas come from, I wake up with them.
They're just random.
Yeah, like I wake up in the morning and I have an idea, and I'm like, I dreamt that idea, or I was put in, and that can go from like something as crazy as the tipster to or my toaster, or
the reptile,
or anything, or even sometimes just stuff from the vlog. Sometimes I'll wake up with like, this is what I want to film today in the vlog, and it's not like I've thought about it over the night. I just go to sleep and I come up with so we probably share the same genetics as far as the way it goes. 100%. It can be a good thing or a bad thing, because it can be a little bit tormenting, because you don't just sleep restfully. You sleep. It's almost like sometimes I sleep and I wake up and I feel like I've worked harder sleeping than I did awake.
Does this happen to you? This happens to me a lot, like a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'll be going to bed, and let's say it's just one of those nights where I'm having trouble go to sleep, and I'm laying there, I'm trying to sleep, and then all of a sudden I get this idea, and it's a great idea. I mean, it's a great idea. And I have to wake myself up to write it down, because I know through past experiences that if I don't write down every last detail of this amazing idea that I just got, that I will never have it ever again. In the past, that has happened to me, where I go, oh, I'm just so tired right now, I'm not going to write down this idea. I'll say it 3 times, like, oh, I'll remember it. Fucking always forget it. Yeah. But it'll be like, I'll try to sleep, it'll be like 1 a.m. And then I'll have to write things down for a half an hour, and it sucks, but it's worth it because it's such a good idea.
I've been fortunate. I don't forget. I usually remember everything.
Really?
Yeah, like I wake up and I remember.
Forgetting part from
you get the forgetting part from her. Yeah, no, I can remember most. Even when I forget, like I'll say, like, man, I remember there was a dream.
His problem is he can't forget anything.
Yeah, that is a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem. I don't forget. Like, that's just the way. That's the way my life is. I mean, it's like I always say I'm kind of tormented, because like through the course of a day for me, like sentences that people told me, whether it's your mom, my family, customers, people I meet, whatever it is, the sentences pop in my head throughout the whole day. Like sometimes from 30 years ago. They just pop out of nowhere, and they just cycle through. That. They just cycle through my mind all day long.
I wish remember what I fucking needed to from 2
I remember.
hours ago.
I remember a 6-8 months or so ago, we were sitting on the couch, and watching TV, and I can't even remember what we were doing, if we were watching TV or whatever it was. But I remember looking at your mom and asking her. I said, "Do you ever just not think?" I said, do you ever just not think, And she said, remember you said, yeah, all the time. I sometimes just chill out, And that's what I said. I don't know what that feels like. Like, I don't know what it feels like to not think. It's never, there's 24 hours a day my brain.
So
it is exhausting. It's exhausting. It is.
So there's a few things, because I'm similar. There's a few things that I do that honestly help me a lot. And one of them is being outside. And so I'm the same way. There's never really a moment where it's white noise, no thoughts. There's always something going on there.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this thing called a phone, is because to turn off my thoughts inside my head, I put on a podcast.
Yeah.
I'll listen to a podcast. I'll listen to music.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have that, like you said, I'm not joking, I drive myself crazy up here. That's one thing, podcast being on, music being on. The second thing that actually works better than anything, but it's a lot harder to do because of time management and all that, is being outside. Going outside and not doing anything, literally not doing anything. I'll stand outside with the fresh air. I'll examine. Okay, so instead of creating new thoughts, I'm like, oh wow, what a beautiful bird. I wonder what bird that is. Oh wow, the breeze feels good.
Yeah, I think that's called living in the moment.
Yep,
right.
Sensory. Overloading your
exactly.
sensory.
I was just gonna say, you're doing walks. Why don't you, instead of making a phone call or doing whatever, try to do that?
Well, I do that sometimes. I do some, so yeah, I've been walking
and I find
every day,
it really peaceful. Like, honestly, I'm being so serious. Like, because I'm not saying I have exactly what you have. All I'm saying is I sometimes feel overwhelmed with my thoughts as well. And being outside and just like I said, I find myself looking at little things. Like, I swear, for some weird reason, people may call me weird. I'll look at a bird and I'll just look at the bird and I'll be like, that bird is so beautiful. And then I'll be lost for a minute or two, just enjoying the beauty of the leaf, of the flow.
I was
of the,
just talking to your dad
just
about that
something
the other day.
like that.
We're just talking about
it's
that.
really
Jay,
peaceful for me.
No, well, we all got to work on it. I'm trying, I mean, I'm working hard this last little bit in particular. I've been working extra hard at trying to find inner peace, and we'll, I'll get there. I mean, it's not easy, I mean, there's certainly a lot of demons, but you got to try to work.
I think that the most important part in anything in life is the person. So let's say, like, if the person really wanting it. So if like since you've been taking steps towards that,
I mean, obviously
because you really want it, okay? And a lot of people, let's say they need something, and people tell them, hey, maybe you need to do something like this. But if the person deep down inside doesn't feel that way, doesn't accept, doesn't believe that they do need it, they'll never find it.
Right.
It's like being an addict to something.
100%.
No.
It's like you won't find sobriety unless you truly want to be sober.
No. And I mean, you guys know how serious I am about mental health right now and trying to find that balance.
I'm just
I know. Let's get caught up on super chats real quick.
You got it.
So that we can
So we got Kat says, my dream is to work with y'all, but unfortunately I live in Texas.
Sorry, Kat. Maybe we'll be in Texas one day.
One day, maybe.
No, we won't.
No. we do love Texas, though.
Amy Tingle comes back and says, hey guys, thanks for that. Yes, Lori, I purchased some merch earlier, and me and my 3 kids had the personalized messages from Brian.
That's what the personal message. That's when I saw the Amy Tingle. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
We got
say hi to your kids, please.
We got Guy Breeze says, hi guys, you're amazing. I'm from the UK and hopefully visiting soon.
Thank you, Guy.
Man. Thank you.
I'd love to visit you guys.
Hope things are well in the UK.
Murphy Pink says, what is the secret for a long marriage? Also, new merch idea, Reptarium face masks.
More on that later. Let's talk about that later.
We like the merch idea. We'll say that.
Yeah,
but
we'll just say that you aren't the first person to think of that. Let's just say that.
How about one? Let's break down the tip, because obviously you can't explain how to have a long-lasting marriage.
Well, I think that
one thing.
It's much like you just talked about. I think is commitment.
Is that part of it?
It's wanting it.
Yes, it was marriage. Key to long-lasting marriage. Maybe you guys can both give one thing in your life that you can apply.
It's just commitment. It's that you can't expect 30-something years we've been together. You can't expect every minute of those years to be good.
100%.
And so if you're willing to take the good and the bad and have a common goal, which is I want to spend the rest of my life with this person.
Hell yeah.
There's going to be bad things that happen along that way, but ultimately, if your main focus is I don't want to ever not be with, and that's how I am with your mom, is that there's no one. I've always said one of the things that has gotten me through this life is this, like, me and your mom in our 90s sitting on the porch together, reminiscing about how our life went, so that's what I think.
Something I crave as well.
Yeah. So what about you? Anything?
Yeah.
Wine? she's got the wine.
Stop. That's not real. That's for the podcast. Honestly, that is for the podcast. What? Yeah. I want to hear some real shit, Mom.
Oh shit! You want feet to the fire, real shit?
Yes.
Okay, wine helps.
Yes.
But...
Well, obviously, wine helps.
Have a vice.
The ganja.
No.
Yeah.
But
whatever. Yeah,
like
whatever
real life stuff.
It is. No, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean,
Commitment.
you gotta, if you're going to be with somebody, pick a person that, you have a common bond with, that, your common goal is that you do want to be together. I think, unfortunately, in this day and age, a lot of people come together, whether it's marriage or just commitments, and just think, this is okay for now.
And what you have,
and if you're gonna, if you're gonna pick somebody, be like, no, like I want this to go the long haul. And the fact of the matter is the long haul is gonna be,
hard.
Good, but a lot of shit and a lot of bad.
Shit.
No,
true. No, it is true though.
So
because
true.
Time, life is hard. You're gonna see some hard shit whether you want to or not.
And even if you were by yourself, you would go through that.
Right. And so you got to be with somebody to be like, you know what, shit's getting hard. I'm out. Like, that's not your mentality. Like, in the push comes to shove, even if you feel like that and you're with that person, like when it comes down to it, you're gonna be like, all right, what is it? Like, if you go in it like, you know what, when it gets hard, I'm out right from the start, you're going to go. Yeah. But, sometimes it's those last strands that like, oh, my God, this isn't what I want to do, that hold you together. Like,
yeah, and what you got to remember, too, especially with someone, people like your mom and me, is that, we were teenagers when we met.
So crazy.
Think about what of a different person you're going to be 30 years from now.
Oh, yeah, we're totally different people.
So, you have to grow together. You have to grow together, Yep. So like, I mean, I'm nothing like, 30 years ago when I was, 30 years ago when I was 20, I would have never, I couldn't have imagined what kind of a person I'd be at 50. And same thing with your mom. So we had to, I think the hardest part is not to grow apart.
That's 100%.
You've got to grow together, and that doesn't mean that it's always easy. And certainly, it's ups and downs. But you got to just, if your common goal is to still spend your life with someone, that's what matters. So, okay.
I agree.
Cool. Next, we got that. Ashley just threw $2 just for love.
Thank you.
Jessica Muller says, hey, guys, just sending some love from Long Island.
Hey,
love from...
things are good. Long Island's beautiful, by the way. It's a beautiful place.
Love from Michigan.
Yeah.
We got, let's see, Ashley again says, watching in Alberta, Canada. Thanks for everything.
Hey, Alberta, what's
going
on?
Thank you so much.
Is Alberta?
Alberta,
is that
Canada?
No, I know that,
sorry.
but I'm saying
I'm like, where? What are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of Providence.
No, I'm trying to think where the Narcissus snake dens are. If it's in Alberta or if it's
Manitoba?
It's Manitoba in Alberta.
Or maybe we just keep on with.
Let's just keep going.
You got it. So we got Sherry says, love the vlogs, love the podcast. Love what you bring to all of us subscribers. Tell all to remember to like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.
Yes, please hit that like button right now. There's
subscribe.
There's 258 likes. Let's see if we can get that to 500.
Let's get 500 right now.
500.
Let's get 500 likes.
Yeah, let's go. All right.
Next, we got Marta says, hi, Lori, love ya.
Thanks, Marta. Love
thank
you,
you, Marta. We're not here, that's okay.
We're here.
No, I'm kidding. We love you, and that is a cool name, by the way.
We got
Kiss for you.
Baby. Haley says, "Hey, Brian, Lori, and Noah, huge fan.
Thank you so much. Appreciate.
Cat
wow, we just said the same thing. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Whoa.
It was that little clip of the future, bro. You caught it, bro.
It was a little third eye. Third eye action going on.
We got Kat says, so having all those snakes had to be an experience. What did y'all do to bring in money to help fund the hobby if there wasn't a lot of money in it at the time?
Really, to be honest, we worked. I mean, literally, I lived with my mom. Thankfully, she didn't charge me rent or anything like that. She even paid the electric bill for all the snakes and stuff like that. So literally every dollar I made at the pet shop went to feeding the animals and then ultimately buying more.
We had full-time jobs. We didn't start out just doing this.
No, we worked for a long time. And even once we had our daughter, I still worked for a number of years, between the pet shop and then ultimately as a machinist before I could go full time as well. So
and in between those two jobs, I cleaned houses. So
you cleaned houses for a short period of time. Yeah, I mean, we did everything we could do to get the business going where we wanted to go, but it took years. I mean, it was you figure I was probably 23 years old, 24 years old before I went full time, and I was hardcore in it.
It was a huge step.
Yeah,
we took a risk and just said, you know what, screw it, we're going to try this, and we worked our ass off.
Can I say one thing real quick? Because I don't know exactly what that question was. I forgot exactly the wording of the question, but a lot of people don't want to work little jobs,
right?
And I think that is such a wrong opinion to have. Like, I've worked so many little jobs in my life, from my teenagers to now. And I've made such great memories, built character, whether
learn
it be
skills.
work, learn skills, yes. All these things through little jobs. Like, I mean, like little, very insignificant jobs in the grand scheme of things, but they were, for a weird way to put it, lovely.
Well, they're character builders,
They are. And let me tell you, I mean, I might own all of our businesses, but I do every freaking job we have. Yeah. Whether it's sweeping the floor.
And that's been really evident lately.
That's what I'm saying.
The last couple
I'll
weeks
wash
in particular.
Tubs, I sweep floors. Like, there isn't a job that is too low for me to do. Because you know what? Because it's a job that needs to be done. And anybody who thinks they're above doing another job is really sorely mistaken.
Well,
we'll never get anywhere.
Well, and I think that's what we've always told our crew is that, we've done everything you've done for many, 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 many years before you were around.
I can do it very well. And I can outdo you in every.
Well, Lori can. I can't.
I can show you how
Lori
it should
can.
be done.
Yeah, Lori can. I'm not gonna. I won't put my
tubs.
That's the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, I won't put my skills up against Lori or Jessica. Either one. Lori or Jessica will outwork us on every step of the way. But so what do we got next, Jay?
We got Pat says, "Hi guys, can't wait for the virtual tour." So it looks like he has one booked.
Oh, cool, man! I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Patty.
Make sure you have good Wi-Fi, please, and please ask questions.
Yes.
Don't let me talk for an hour.
A woman, and that's on Friday.
Okay, good, excellent. Make sure we have a conversation.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we love to talk. We love to talk. Okay,
so we got Sharon just threw $2 for love. Put a little fox.
Thanks, Sharon.
Ashley says it would be cool to have a medium read Brian to see if George comes through to connect with you. Love the George stories. Thanks for all your amazing work and education.
I'll be honest with you. I would hope George doesn't ever come visit me again.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's not. It's not.
You don't want to open up bad things.
No.
Yeah, no.
And
that
he
was
into not good things.
Yeah, no. We don't. As much as I loved him and missed him, and he's such a huge part of my life, I definitely don't want.
You don't want to open yourself to evil spirits.
He's it wasn't a good. And we'll talk more about that sometime. We said we were going to have
we're going to do it this one.
We're going to do it this one, so we'll try to do it down the road.
Do you want to do it on checking in, or do you want to do it on?
We could do it either way. We could do it on choices if you want to.
Just saying, because maybe we could do it Friday.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you want. If you want,
we'll talk about it. And we'll
Because I mean, there's lots of stories about that. But yeah, I think that there's some people that I've lost in my life, and we've said that I've lost probably more people than I should at this age of my life. And I would love to connect with some of those people, but George is not one of them. As a matter of fact, that's one of my nightmares is him coming back.
That's what I was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a movie that's been made about that one.
That's
it's
awesome.
One of those ones where you're yelling, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" How are they so stupid?
Please, no.
So we got Tyler says just finished up painting his house. Awesome to join in, and hope you all are doing awesome.
Thank you, Tyler.
Well, good, man. I hope your house turned out good. I hope it was pink or purple.
Yeah, especially purple.
Maybe hazel.
Yeah, hazel.
For my eyes.
Yeah.
Match my eyes.
We got Cindy says, "Hi guys, love your channel. Sending some love. Thanks for everything."
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
Big
It's like
smooch for you.
Name is Cindy.
We got Chris says, "Will you be getting a green tree monitor?"
Maybe, possibly. As a matter of fact, Desiree and Steve, that are obviously Forest Place. It sounded like the other day I saw a post that they might have a green tree monitor that's gravid, maybe. And if they have babies, I would like to get some baby green trees. I like the blue ones better, but the greens are a little bit more personable. The blues are a little bit less.
Hidey, right?
Yeah, they hide a little bit more. So, but I have some plans to add some tree monitors. Yes,
awesome. Good to know.
All right, so we got Country Bumpkin again. Gave $5. Says, "Well, I have to go, guys, but I'll get my resume ready for you."
All right, Country. I'm sure you're already gone, so see ya.
And then Andy Gavs through $2 says, "Miss ya."
Hey, Andy, what's going on? What's up, Andy?
Yeah,
I was just chatting with Andy today or yesterday. I can't even remember what day it is. They all blend
together.
Yeah, just,
sometime in the
past.
Just
sometime in the past. But yeah, that's cool.
So, we got a couple more.
Okay, cool.
Just like 5 more. But T-Mac, I know, I'm sorry. T-Mac says, "Just got off work. Sorry I'm late. And Noah, I dream about my future, and it always happens. It gives me deja vu as well."
Yeah.
Ghost stories this week or next?
We're just talking about.
We're just talking about it.
We'll get it together.
Let me write it down.
We just forgot about it today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Yeah, and so we'll either do it next week or we'll do it Friday on Noise Choices.
Awesome. So we got Draco and Kodak. They're always in here. So they said I'm late, so maybe I missed it. But did you get Lori her wolfhound yet?
No,
you didn't miss nothing.
I'm not sure if that would happen. I don't think we're ready for another dog.
No, this is the thing. I would have all of the dogs.
Yeah.
If I was Brian.
Yeah.
But I am not Brian.
Yeah. You're smarter than that.
No, I realized what.
She was like, but
for sure.
Realize I want them all.
Yeah.
But right now, it is not smart for me to add another dog into my life. And so I won't do it. It kills me. And it kills me even more when I've got like Jay showing me these puppies that are available. And it is one that was on my list, but I will not do it because it would not be good for me or the dog.
Lucy would have a heart attack.
Can I tell you guys, I'm about to start, I swear to God, I'm about to start a new doggy trend.
What's that?
What is that?
I'm telling you that Dalmatians can be the next French Bulldog.
Why?
Because they're beautiful.
I love Dalmatian. I just saw somebody walking one the other day.
Yes, that's what made me give you the thought. I was just like, I saw it and I was like, that is so beautiful. I want one.
I don't do information. Like, this is a thing.
Don't do
I haven't done
information.
a whole lot of research. I'm sorry. Towards stuff. Dalmatians are very needy dogs.
Yes, I've heard.
I'm a needy person.
So no, it is a dog. Like, it works for us with Phoebe because Danes are the same way. But I am able to bring her to work. She's with me all the time. If I had to leave her, remember our friend Scott? Like, destroyed his house. Like,
they don't
like the wall. Ate the fucking drywall.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we haven't had that because she is able to be with me so much. So just keep in mind, if you get one of those, they do need that. So, and I think that's important to do your research.
I just love Dalmatians.
And I'm not going to lie.
I love all dogs.
I do too.
Well, Dalmatians are great. I prefer the Cowretic Dalmatians personally.
They're beautiful.
Like Perdita.
Those work.
Those
for
are
you.
Those are the Dalmatian of the snake world.
That is.
The Dalmatian leopard geckos are very pretty as well.
Oh, those actually are.
Yes.
But they're not true Dalmatians, though.
I put a few cute ones up.
I like the Super Snow is what it is.
Yeah, well, it's a Super Snow white and yellow.
But then it's extreme.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, they're really beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah. But,
cool. Let me hit these last couple ones. Yeah. Emily says, I live in Iowa, but I'm willing to move to learn and work with animals.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, Emily. You can always send a resume.
Send in that resume.
I think we'll just go with Jeannie. We'll just go with Jeannie. Says 5 UK pounds towards the sloth fund.
Hey, thank you so much.
Wine fund. Awesome.
I like you a lot.
Appreciate it. Sloth fund. Add it.
Sharon says merch idea: pop sockets with pictures of the animals of the reptarium. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we looked at that a little bit. It's definitely something to think about. There's no doubt about that. We'll get back to some super chats here in a little bit here.
I got.
What?
I gotta hit the bathroom.
Go do that.
Marta is sending love to you and Dad. Look at that.
Thank you,
Marta, thank you so much. Like I said, she sent it to you first.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She was
the
the
one
Lori.
that said.
She said to Lori. Now she sent it to us.
I liked her name.
So we appreciate you.
Murphy Pink. This actually brings up a good thing. So she's an essential worker. The mask hurt her ears. Remember, weren't you with me when we saw that thing that guy had around his head?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the future holds like that. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds. If like how long masks become. I was thinking a couple things. I mean, obviously, I don't want to talk about what I'm going to be doing with masks because that's an idea that we have brewing right now that was supposed to already happen, but unfortunately, it's put off.
You've missed the boat, but
no, I haven't missed the boat. It's just that the supply is a little bit difficult. But there's going to be some exciting things I can talk about masks here pretty soon. My point is that I was almost thinking a little bit like the other day, like I went out and I had the green mask, and I had a green shirt. And I was almost like, you could almost accessorize masks like you do.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Literally on the radio show this morning, Jessica had on when I was working, is there's somebody who has like they're calling it, what was it? I'm going to mess it up. I think it was something like a trikini So they've already accessorizing,
boom, boom, boom.
like, yes, they're accessorizing the bikini with the matching mask for summer.
That's actually pretty
what
cool.
they were saying is now they're going to start accessorizing. And I'm like, you know what? You can go fuck yourself because I'm not wearing a mask at the beach. Let me tell you. If I'm at the beach.
Not at the beach. No, not at the beach. But I think that, like, when you're going out shopping or something like that, especially the kids that, I mean, like, even Noah, he, it's always like his shoes matches his clothes.
And you have like the Assassin's Creed bandana.
And you haven't already seen that shit? Because I've seen it all over the place.
Oh, dude,
like
people are rocking it.
There's like logos, there's like this and that.
Right,
like everybody is doing that stuff.
No, and I understand that. I just wonder how long it'll last too. I mean, will this be something that for months will be like this, or it'll go away pretty quick? I'm not sure. I guess it just depends on
All right, I'm going to throw it out there. I think it might go through the summer. Yeah. And it's going to tail off at the end of summer.
Yeah, I
think.
agree.
Like, because let me tell you, there's nothing worse than wearing that fucking mask,
especially in the summer.
No, this is the thing. I'm at a store and I'm 5 minutes in, and I don't even have like the heavy duty mask, and I'm sweating. I have a hard time breathing. Like it's not
a good situation.
It's not good. No.
Yeah.
So, and I know most people feel that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I find it interesting here in Michigan that it is mandated that you're supposed to wear a mask in public, not out walking, but in stores and stuff. And still, I'd say about 50% of the people,
they're not throwing people out.
Yeah, they used to, or they didn't used to. They started to, but
certain
then
stores.
now I think they're just
it
like,
depends,
just
because I'm not
going to
lie. I saw this thing actually. I was going to talk about it last week, and I didn't. To where, well, it's terrible, but in Flint, there was a dollar store where they have security. Certain places have security guards that won't let you in.
Right.
And this woman and her daughter didn't have a mask. He wouldn't let them in. She left, came back with her husband and son. They fucking shot him and killed him.
Yeah, I heard about this.
And
I heard about this.
You know what? Because they didn't want to wear a mask in the dollar store.
Well, that's Flint for you.
And that's exactly what I'm like. Where the hell is this? And I clicked on the
Flint.
story, and I was like, "Holy shit! Seriously, you got nothing better to do in your life than
Been there once
to do that?"
No, dude, they don't even have water.
Yeah,
well, that is true. Tough. Life is hard there.
But
hell yeah, it is.
But regardless, I wonder how long they're trying to go. Speaking of that kind of thing, we won't get into the, we try to stay away from COVID, as much as we can because people need break and we all feel that way. But it is interesting about sports, though. That sports are starting to kind of come back. I think that they're the biggest thing. And I think
you were excited for the UFC
Yeah, the UFC fight was great. I mean, to me, yes, the audience would have brought more to it, but it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
Especially the way the shots were. They kind of like blew out the background so you couldn't see.
Good bokeh.
It was really good. I mean, they definitely blew the back out.
That chick, man, holy crap, her kicks.
Yeah.
I was just
all
like,
those
holy
women.
shit.
I heard the lineup.
I can't even believe her leg was literally like this fucking.
The women are honestly, they're really good. I like the women's
fight was
UFC.
okay. The women's fight was okay that night. It wasn't a great woman. No, it wasn't a great women's fight though. Seriously, I mean, most of the time the women's fights are great.
Fight was that one better? The one you guys.
The dad fight was good. I'm not gonna lie.
There was a lot of good fights in that.
I heard that whole card was like
it was good. It was all good.
But it was great that they came back. I remember I made the prediction about baseball.
Yeah,
saying that if baseball came back, that they could be like the national pastime again because people. But number one, I think I don't know that they're not going to come back. I think they're. Why do you say that? They haven't made a decision yet.
I say that because I don't believe it.
I think they will come back because I think that the thing that bothers me right now is the thing that's holding them up is that there's been some baseball players that have said, and I don't want to villainize baseball players, but there's been some baseball players saying like, well, we have to make sure that we're healthy before we go back to work. And this is my thought, is number one, what about the people who work at Walmart? What about the people that work at the hospitals? What about the people at the gas station? What about the people now in the big three that just have to go back to work? They didn't have a decision to say, I don't want to go back because they either do their job or they don't. Not to mention, I think that the baseball players and sports players, they have a responsibility to try to entertain so that people can take their mind off of that.
Welcome to the world of sports because guess what? All of these sports people think they're above everybody else and that they can make the calls.
I mean, we have friends that are professional athletes that don't feel that way.
Well, and I'm not saying all, but I'm saying a majority.
Yeah, well, maybe. The point is that I think that if baseball doesn't come back, and they're saying that they'd like to be back for July 4th, maybe the opening game, so, month and a half. So they would go into a the preseason or whatever they call it in baseball, that would happen sometime in June.
You mean so maybe the even more boring regular season?
Yeah, whatever. So, but I think that if that doesn't happen, it could be the death nail for baseball. I mean, it was already a dying sport.
This is the thing.
Bruh.
Football's already said they're doing their thing. So
here's the nail.
Yeah, it doesn't make Let's see what hockey does.
I don't think hockey. I don't think I have my. I don't think hockey will be back personally, and I have my concerns about the NBA this year. I think because I think by the time they will start, it's almost the next season. Unless the NBA is talking about like not starting until Christmas.
They've been.
But I think it's going to be hard.
Trust me, everything that you've thought about, they're thinking about too.
They just need to do something sooner or later because they're running out of time is what basically what it comes down to.
Can I share one? Again, I'm kind of just playing a devil's advocate here because I don't think one side's necessarily right in either of this. I don't think that time even matters. I think at this point, literally, it doesn't matter. I think
it does matter. I really think it matters a lot,
right.
actually.
Let him finish.
But I don't think it does because we already lost it all. You know what I mean? It's just like we can skip this season.
So you're saying just start over. Do a do-over and start when you'd normally start?
I fucking love sports with all my life, right? I indulge in probably more sports than anyone in this room, I'd say.
Combined, probably.
And I would be able to eat the loss of the season to, make sure that everyone's okay. Like, the way I see it is that, man, like I said, I love sports. Don't get me wrong. But the sad truth is I can live without it to make sure everyone's all right.
There's a couple things about that is that it's still, number one, everyone isn't all right already. There's a lot of people that need something, right? Because the one thing that's come out of this is the fact that they've... No, listen to me. The one thing that's come out of this is that pretty much no matter what life you're living right now, all your entertainment's gone, right? I mean, there's no more new movies. There's no sports. There's no theater. There's no... I mean, you could go down the list of things that are entertainment, and it's gone. It's gone. It's all gone. Yeah, we can watch reruns. We can watch whatever. We can watch movies that we didn't already get to. I'm saying that, and this is the thing. If everyone on the planet wasn't working, I don't think sports should go back to work. But, most people are working.
Yeah.
And why should they be held to a different standard? And they're making millions. And I'm not one of those guys. I have friends that are professional sports athletes. I am not one of those guys that says, you make all that money, you shut up and do it. But in this case, I think that why would a nurse in a hospital have to take more responsibility than a professional athlete when that professional athlete is going to save lives? Because by those professional sports coming on, people are going to have reason. They're going to wake up in the morning and go, God, I can watch that UFC fight this week. I can go watch that baseball game.
Yeah.
It gives them an escape from the reality that we're in right now. And I think that's a responsibility that should not be taken lightly. And if they're going to say that, and it's not just about like the safety. That, of course, listen, do you think that baseball players are going to have less safety than the guy works in at GM? No, because why? Because every week that baseball player is going to get tested.
They'll have more safety.
Right, because they're going to be tested every single week, whereas that guy at GM is never getting tested unless he's sick.
Peak physical condition and stuff.
And
too.
They're chilling.
So my thing is that I think that whether it's baseball, NBA, whatever the case is, they need to take the responsibility of saying, like, we need to step up. And even if we take a little bit of a hit financially, and this is the thing with baseball is that the one of the things that they're talking about is the players weren't happy about the offer, which is a 50-50 revenue split. The owners get 50%, they get 50%. That seems pretty damn fair to me. And some baseball players, I'm not going to do that.
Well, I don't know the numbers, so I can't say.
Because they're not getting the income of the tickets, is that why?
Well, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. They're not getting their contract. So if their contract was $25 million, they may only make $5 million this year.
Well, yeah, because if you can't have fans in the stands, nobody's making any
money.
But
the owners are making a lot less too. My point is that I just think that every bit of normalcy that comes back into our life is
so
better.
Helpful. Yeah.
Every time something changes that makes me feel a little bit normal. And this is the thing, Noah, you may be fine. You may be one of those people that I can go 5 months like this. I'm not one of those people. And there's going to be people that, I know people that would love this for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's a true
but
thing.
I'm not one of those. I'm struggling hard. I'm struggling hard, and I need normalcy in my life. And every little bit of normalcy that I get back makes me feel a little bit better about the future.
It's like, I feel you in some aspects, but there's definitely some stuff I don't necessarily agree with.
And that doesn't make you right or wrong.
I know, that's why I said I was playing like devil's advocate, because like I don't think both sides are necessarily fully right.
No, there's in every situation,
because there's like a few things. The UFC fight, you're right. I don't think any of it was affected by fans not being there. I personally enjoyed it just as much, if not more, because we had a lack of it for so long without fans in the stands. So I think that aspect can be applied to every single sport. Will it be different? Yes. Will we enjoy it the same? I think we will, because we are missing it so much. But basically what I was trying to get at was like, I think I understand what you're saying with the normalcy, and we need more normal. But I don't know. I feel like there's just more important things to get going first.
Like what? That's what I'm saying. Like what?
Like fix the problem.
We are trying to fix the problem.
Like, I don't know, like, Dad. I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a scientist. I can't fix it. If I could, I would. But it's just like, I miss people. I want to be able to see my people before there's a sports game. Like, I want to be able to hug somebody and not feel like I'm gonna get the cheese touch.
Well, that's
it's like there's a lot of things we gotta work on before we get to normal, which is never coming back. By the way, there's going to be a different reality. It's not going back to normal.
See, I don't agree. I think
You think we're going to be 100% the same?
I think we're going to be 100%.
I think we'll get back to normal. 100%.
I think we'll be 100%.
I think it's going to be different.
No.
I think
it'll be different for the short term. And the thing is that it takes some time.
It will be.
You think it's going to be 100%? On the same path.
I do.
I think there'll be a couple things here and there that will change.
Small
forever.
Regulations or something.
But there'll be regulations that won't go back. Maybe immigration, maybe travel, maybe stuff like that will be affected.
You want to hear one thing that I think is going to be different?
What's that?
I genuinely think this. I think that people are going to be wearing masks a lot more in America.
I think that they will for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I think this time next year,
maybe
no one's wearing a mask. Not one person will wear a mask.
Depends on the social climate. Maybe we're still in Coronaville by then.
Well, I think there's a overwhelming chance we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I fucking
overwhelming.
Pray.
I mean, there's a very good chance we're going to have a vaccine by September.
Yeah. Don't even say that. I get my hopes up.
Now it can take some time for them to roll it out, but my point is that I think that there's I shouldn't say no scenario, very little scenario that by this time next year we aren't all vaccinated if we decide to get vaccinated. So my point is, as soon as that happens, unless something else happens where this kind of peters out and doesn't become whatever. My point is that people, listen, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, when Michigan put the mandate for masks, almost every person I saw when I went to a store had a mask. Now we're 2 weeks later and half the people don't have it.
Really?
What do you think is going to happen 6 months from now?
Yeah, mostly no one will have it. And the thing is,
I saw a lot of people.
Brian and I were talking the other day how typically pandemics end one of two ways, and it's either it ends medically with a vaccine or something, or
death.
Or socially, where people just stop caring and they learn to live with the disease.
Yeah.
They learn to say, hey, you know what? There's a virus going around. There's nothing we can do. We have to move on.
Well,
especially when
especially when the mortality rate we know is much lower than we expected.
Yeah.
And how low we don't know.
How low can you go?
But anyway,
how low?
We said we initially said
get low.
I know.
We originally said we were not going to
talk about the C word.
We're not going to talk about it. I'm sorry, we just talked about it a little bit. It is part of our life, so let's move on to other things. But
I miss my people, man.
Yeah, well, we all do. I mean, we all do, and it sucks. But we will.
It does suck.
I just think that we will get. We'll get
better.
We'll get
just
better.
Depends on what the date is.
Right. And I think it'll be sooner or later. I think that, by time Mom's birthday, July 15th, we're going to be at
much better place.
We're going to be at a family gathering about that. That's what I believe.
I agree.
I hope I'm right.
I hope you're right too. Can I say one thing though?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
That's too bad.
And with that, let's hit some super chats.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, and then let's move on to something different.
Yeah, so we got Katie says, hello, fam, bam. Just sending some love as always.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Kate.
We got
Kate.
Sherry says, don't got her message, was amused, says thanks. I don't know what that means.
Thank you, Sherry, for the confusing message.
No, that's all right. Thanks.
Solus Honky says, can't wait to visit you guys, or you guys visit Portland.
Yeah, well, listen, I hope that, again, I know that Noah is not as optimistic as I am about things, but I really believe wholeheartedly that by the middle of next month, we're going to be able to have some people at the Reptarium.
For sure.
I really believe that. Do I think we're going to have the doors open and it's going to be like a free-for-all? No. But I think that I've thought a lot about what the protocol will be if we open up, and what we will do to not only keep us safe, because we want to be safe, but also our patrons safe. And I really believe that by the middle of next month, we'll be able to be somewhat open.
The thing is, like, optimism is great, but
I just hate being
disappointed.
To be honest, Noah, it's actually more realism than optimism.
Yeah.
You're being more pessimistic about
No, what it really comes down to, and it's fine to have that mentality. No, it's just me and Jay both are numbers people. Like, I don't listen to the news. I don't do anything. I just look at the numbers, and the numbers
I don't do that either.
The numbers are falling.
Yeah.
So if we continue to fall, we will be in good shape. And let's get off this because we're
I know it's just bringing down my fucking mood. I'm just like the reason why I'm pessimistic about it is because I don't have anything good news about the situation. It's like all bullshit. Like there's nothing good going on.
Well, no, the good news is that this is the good news, Noah, is that Michigan was at almost 2,000 new cases a day.
Okay.
We're now at 300.
Then why the fuck aren't the doors open? Let me get outside.
It's going to happen.
Let me play basketball.
That is going to happen, but
dunk
that is
like
good
Kobe.
news. That is good news, right? I mean, when you're talking about that type of a drop. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, so we got Danny says, greetings from Czechia. And
Czechia?
I know, I've never heard of that. I've heard of Czechoslovakia, but maybe that's what he means. Maybe that's how they abbreviate it. Either way.
Thank you so much. If it is Czechoslovakia, it's awesome. You guys got some good hockey players there.
Yeah, the best, right?
Yeah.
Been watching the vlog daily for 3 years now. Thanks for reigniting my passion for reptiles.
Thank
you, Danny.
And we got Nicola.
Nicola.
Hi, all. I love watching your vlogs and podcasts. You're an amazing family. Did you ever name the other two-headed turtle and the albino one? Love from the UK.
No. Yes and no. I can't remember.
I know
Voldemort is the albino. Yeah, so we're still working on that one. We'll have some stuff on that in the future for sure.
We got Isaac says, "What is up, guys?"
What's up, Isaac?
Hey, Isaac.
We got
nothing much, buddy.
EJ Morgan, which says, "I want to go on a BHB tour more than the Reptarium."
Yeah, we just don't do it. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but we
There's a lot of things. There's bad Wi-Fi.
I mean, especially if you have virtual, you can't do a virtual, and then in person, we're just not set up for tours there. And from the point of like, there's so many more animals to look at BHB if it's in person. And I will be honest with you, almost every time I brought people over to BHB that aren't like reptile breeders or something like that, they're sliding a cage open and they let a snake out almost every single time. Every single time, because we don't have locking cages there. It's just not set up for a tour. So I'm sorry, but that's the way it goes.
Anna says, I love you all, but especially Lori.
Thank you, Anna.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Anna. I really don't.
Amy Tingle again says, thanks, guys. Respect you, Brian, Noah. So funny. I respect Lori as a strong woman and mother, and Jay and your other staff are great. Yeah, helping out tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amy. Sorry that we got a little deep there for a minute. We're going to, turn back to hilarity here in a second.
Let me see here.
Yeah,
got a bit.
You guys are killing it at Super Chats tonight. Thank you so much again. It just obviously helps keep the wheels turning, so we appreciate it. And we appreciate everyone in the chats as well.
Regardless, yeah.
Especially Mama Tomsky there.
That's my girl. Eric says, watched a vlog from a couple years ago when you got some new...
Oh, Longicata.
Longicata, thank you for the help. Are you breeding them?
No, they're actually... Jessica and Bruce have them.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, Jessica and Bruce have them. I'm sure they're going to try to breed them here as soon as they're adulthood, but I don't know if they're adults yet.
Tiffany Smallwood coming in, sending some love. So thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany,
Lori's my
thank you so
spirit
much.
person.
Hey, Tiffany.
I don't understand.
That happens so much, dude.
I
It's so
know.
funny. We got Solis Honky again. Great hearing you guys be reasonable. Love you.
Thank you. I'm
Thanks.
not sure what
Solis.
part we were reasonable.
I
don't
can't even
either.
wait to
I don't
actually put a
fucking know.
face to that.
I
You-
know,
You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
we
that
gotta-
because
we
I
gotta
got
get-
something in my head and I know it's nothing. What
Nothing.
does it
Yeah.
look like?
That's the
Oh,
best
boy.
part, though.
Yeah.
The imagination part.
Yeah,
You ever
that
like
is
listen
true.
to? You ever like have a I'm trying to think of a scenario where this happened, but like, you maybe you're okay, perfect. So there's this YouTuber, Anners, okay, that I used to watch when I was a kid, and he made gaming videos without face cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without face cam, and
So
then
you
you have
had
this
this
perfect
visual, yeah.
visual thing of what he
Yeah.
looks like through his voice and through his actions, and then you see his face, and you're like, what the hell?
That is
No, that's
not
awesome.
him.
That's not it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the beauty of your creative imagination is actually
Remember,
better than reality.
Yeah, remember, the best man in our wedding was Scott Smith, and that's weirdly enough, I've got
I
another
know.
friend named Scott Smith.
Not
Oh, I
the-
thought it was the same
no,
one.
No,
I
no,
know,
no,
I was like,
different
one.
Scott
He
Smith.
carry you down the aisle.
But he had this beautiful, deep baritone
a
voice,
voice for
like
radio.
Oh my god!
Like-
But boy, you met him. It was
It
scary.
was not a face.
A face
to
for
match.
radio as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and a lot of people would say that, like, oh my god, I talked, and he did telemarketing for a while.
Oh yeah, he was crushing
And he
it.
was crushing it on telemarketing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. I love the dude, man. But man, he was not a
a handsome soul.
not a handsome man, not a handsome man.
But your best man, and that's all that
Yes.
matters. We
Yeah.
got Dre says, or Drea, I'm late with the watch, but I'll watch the replay. But love all of you, and
Thank you
glad I
so
caught the
much.
live finally.
Well, thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. I
Thank you, thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Tim Bennett, I think you guys should make a drinking game out of how many times Noah adjusts his mic in each podcast.
yeah.
It's quite entertaining. Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's
there
just-
you go.
it's
It
just
get
yeah.
ugly.
Yeah,
but
just
it's
you'd be
good.
drunk, but this is like
That's
me
okay
saying,
because Brian's always
yeah.
like, "Get on your mic."
yeah, no, it's hey, that's all right.
It's good. We want good quality.
Murphy.
Murphy says, try wearing a mask with 3 blast furnaces, bump cap, vest, and hairnet. I'd be sexy. Need fun masks too.
my
Wine
God.
time, Team Lori, or just FU?
Wait,
Holy cow. So what do you do?
yeah, I was
Murphy?
just like,
Yeah, it's
I didn't really stand
like the blast furnaces and bump. So obviously
Seems
it
like
works-
something with cooking.
Yeah, or it could be blast furnace, could be iron.
Just
could
because
be-
Yeah.
it says vest and hairnet, I just thought that it might.
How
have to
could
do-
Corona live in
that's
that hot temperatures with the
Exactly,
blast
that's what I'm
furnace?
thinking.
the blast
Yeah,
furnace?
That's crazy. Man.
Blast!
We
Yeah,
got
praying for normal ASAP. Amen, man. I tell
True.
you, anything normal.
I'll
be
pray
good.
for it.
Emily says, "What method should I use to send my resume?
Yep,
Email."
email.
Yeah,
Any
email.
of the websites, just it has the
Yeah.
email.
Neil Postal.
We got Caleb says, "Hey guys, keep up the great work. Booze Fund."
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you
Lori
so
needs
much.
it. Lori
It's a
needs it.
must.
That
Thank you
was-
so much for the
a must.
booze.
That was Andy's.
Oh, we don't
Oh,
need to
let's
read
go
it.
appreciate
Thank you,
Jay.
Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
All right,
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah.
Thanks.
There you go,
guys.
man.
Thanks, Andy. And
Yeah.
Solus Honky says, "When you are open, I will find out." LOL.
You
Yeah.
will
Or
find
you will
out
find
what
out, my
you
bad.
look. Awesome.
Oh.
I look forward to it.
Oh,
Looks
he
I
like
better,
we're
can't
gonna
even
find out.
imagine.
he better be
yeah.
first in line, bro.
I hope he shows up with clothes on, man.
He has a mask on. He has a mask, and we're like,
Mask
we don't
and
know what
just
you
buck-
fucking look like.
Buck naked in a mask. Just buck naked in
You
a
will
mask.
not be let in.
He's like standing in line
would-
with 20 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Naked.
Am I wrong for this? I always thought that honky was like a derogatory term for
It
white
is.
people.
It
I
is.
think it is. Yeah.
Honky,
Okay.
cracker.
But
same
but
thing.
the
Cool.
difference is that like white people,
We can say it.
we just
Yeah,
we're
it's
just
the
like,
same
oh yeah,
thing.
I'm a honky, you know,
Exactly.
like
That's cool.
which is yeah.
That's cool. I'm gonna start saying it more
You
than.
can.
What's it
You
mean?
are. You're a
It's just a
You're
honky
white
tonk,
guy.
like a country bumpkin
Country?
type thing. Yeah.
All right.
We
what's
had a
up, man?
country bumpkin.
Country
in it.
bumpkin.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
Oh
They-
my
you guys should
god!
meet. You guys should meet
Country
and hang out.
bunkin' and honky,
What
boy.
was hey, wait a second, before
Like
we
a
go
little
on.
baby.
What was the word you said last night that me and your mom had never
Oh
heard?
yeah.
What was
Oh,
You're like, how do you spell that? I'm like, that's not a word.
it? Cathartic.
a debacle. No.
Debacle?
Hold up.
it was with the S.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah, so
Shabagle.
okay,
A
so we'll-
shabagle. Wait, one second.
Sheboygan?
One second. I pull up the text messages. It's
yeah,
it's shabagle. It's
yeah,
a shabagle.
Yeah,
Shabagle.
Yeah, it's a shabagle.
Have you ever heard of shabagle?
Never in my life.
So it would be like this. A shabagle is when a series of events are just fucking up. Like it's bad. Like you can look up
you can look up
shabagle.
shabagle.
He did. He looked it up because
I don't know how you
It's
spell
Urban
it.
it's
District,
that it's
yeah.
that with an
Urban
A.
Urban Dictionary. It's
Yeah, right there.
It's
yeah,
sha.
No, it's with a.
Sha.
It's
yeah,
a
but
S.
it's
With a
it's
A.
the
Yeah, there you
same
go.
thing though.
There you
Yeah,
go.
same
There you
thing.
go.
So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
that's Urban Dictionary.
so you'd
that's
be
why.
like So it's not a real word, I guess.
Situation that's confusing or full of difficulties.
But
similar to a
like
clusterfuck.
A clusterfuck.
Now that I know what it is, I'll use that word all the
yeah.
time because believe
my whole life is a shabagle.
My whole life is a clusterfuck.
Well, I know. The thing
totally relate.
is like I didn't even know that wasn't a real word in the dictionary. Because if you look up like in Webster's, it's not there.
Yeah,
it's only in
I've
urban.
never heard of it.
No, because it's not a real word.
Yeah, it is. I say it. Look at shabagle. That's a real word.
Yeah, it's true.
You just heard it, didn't you? Yeah, and you know what it means.
And you know what it means. It's now a word.
It's now a word.
Now a word. Yeah.
Give it a couple years, it'll be a word.
Google something wasn't a word before.
That's true.
Too, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Google that shit.
Google
Jay.
that
Google
shit,
that
Jay. Right?
Google that shit.
When did
Still
Google
not
that
a
shit?
word.
When did Google that shit become a
Still
phrase?
not a word.
2000.
No, Google's, I think, actually,
19.
I mean, Google was a word, but it meant, like, it was more of a number thing. Like a
Yeah, Google.
Googleplex is
Google.
amount
Like
of amount of
infinite.
zeros.
So I just want to throw something out there
Crazy.
real quick because we were talking about masks and stuff.
Sure.
So our friend Kathy had posted this thing, and I was like, well, I am all about that if we have to wear the mask. So it had a mask, but it had a little flap
Oh,
to
no.
where you could put like a straw in
Accessories.
it.
It's
And
so
I was
funny.
like, where do I get that? And no, even better than that. So another person did another meme of a guy, and it was a homemade mask, and it was like basically the flap of jeans. So it had the button and the zipper.
Stop.
And he had that part, and then he unzipped the zipper and put the beer bottle.
It's a bad, not bad
so
idea.
funny.
and
What's
I
so
was
funny?
like, these are amazing.
Well, you know what's really funny? You know how mine works? The other night, I was literally up at night thinking about this exact thing. I was thinking about... No, the reason I was thinking is, you know, the airports are making regulations now that from the time you go in the airport to the time you leave the airport,
you can't eat or drink.
Right.
That was the
and
thing
that's
we're
what I was
talking
saying.
about
I was
at the-
thinking in my head,
Yeah.
like, how could we make a straw attachment for a face mask?
And there you go.
And now
Well,
I know
this
it's
is
already
what
been done.
People were talking
Which is
about
awesome.
that
Good.
on the radio again. Like, okay, restaurants open, face masks required. You can't eat with a mask.
Yeah, what do you
that
mean,
doesn't
bro?
work.
Yeah, but
right.
what's actually happening in like Georgia and in the places that restaurants are open is they're going at like 30% capacity, but the workers have to wear a mask and gloves, but the people don't. And then you can
Right.
only be with your party, and it can only be as many
Because
as
I'm
6
not
people.
going to lie, I've done that. So, okay, this is my MO a lot of times. I will go grab a coffee, and then while I'm at the store buying what I need, I have my coffee. Well, I bought it, and I'm inside, and I'm like, well, fuck. I have a
can't drink
mask on, right? I'm like, I can't even drink my damn coffee because I got to take my mask off to do it. So I was like, well, shit, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Yeah,
It is
We're
stupid.
gonna have to get some creative ways at some point, but
Or we
I
should
was
just
like-
mask off.
Mask off, dude.
yeah.
I feel you.
It was hard.
Sucking it.
I did
You'd
it.
be like,
I
"Yo,
kept
bro,
the
let me
lid
get-"
on and I waited, but then I was mad because then my coffee was colder by the time I got out of the
Yeah, that's
store.
cool.
But like I said, I didn't even cross my mind until I'm like in the
Yeah.
middle of the store and I go and I'm like,
Damn it.
yeah. I'm like, this
Fuck Corona.
Corona's ruined my life.
Before this, it was fine. Yeah. But now, we don't mean to make fun of you guys out there. But,
So we got
yeah, Will.
Yeah, we got Will. He says, I don't mind when you guys talk about current situations and issues. It gives me more information what's going on in other parts of the country.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah,
appreciate that.
things are getting.
It's
better
just
there.
hard because, you know, the blatant truth is
naked bike ride is a thing.
This
Where
is
are you
soulless.
in
Oh,
yeah,
Utah?
that's cool.
She was gone. So no.
no, but honestly, it sucks to talk about because, and you probably won't agree with this, but none of us know what the hell we're talking about. And again,
no. I mean,
it's
no,
like,
of course. I mean, that's
if
what
we
I've said,
if
right?
we did, like, we'd have it figured out. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
no. Well, that's the hard part.
and that's
about
why
it.
I really don't like talking about it. Is because
Well, then let's
it's
not.
like,
Yeah.
no, I know. I'm just clarifying my thing is because it hurts my insides because it's like we're not. It's such a hard topic, and it's just like me talking about it means nothing because it's pointless. I don't know anything about it. It's like when I talk about it, if anything, I'm just providing wrong facts to people. It's like,
well, we're not providing any facts. We're providing opinions, is what we're providing.
Yeah, I guess opinions. Yeah, you're right.
Our thoughts, what we're dealing with.
It's just so hard because,
and that's pretty much what most of it is.
It's
to be honest, everybody giving their
opinion.
Take, yeah.
And that's why I stopped watching the news, is because all they're doing is giving opinions.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And unfortunately, some of the people that are in the forefront of the fight against this are just giving opinions, and they're supposed to be the foremost knowledgeable, and everyone's just
their
guessing.
Opinions are
that's what I mean.
Being
it's just
proven
like,
wrong now. So
well,
it's
a
like
lot
that's
of
the thing.
a lot of opinions.
We're all
listen,
we're all just guessing, like you said, and I'm just sick of guessing.
It won't.
Well, we don't.
This is not going to last forever.
Well, that's the one thing we do know.
There is going to be an end.
That's the one thing we know.
And hopefully the end will be sooner than later. That's all we got to hold on to.
And the only thing, Noah, that I try to say is that, in my opinion, is an opinion.
Yeah.
But it's at least based on science, right? So I don't make emotional decisions. I don't know what's going to happen. But I can look at the numbers, and I can see the graphs of what happened in other countries, and I can see what's happening in our country. And unless history doesn't repeat itself, we can make a reasonable conclusion of what the future is going to hold, right? We can make a reasonable conclusion. It doesn't mean the conclusion is right, but we can make a reasonable conclusion based on science.
What's the word? It's a
hypothesis or...
Yeah,
educated.
Educated.
But we'll see. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see. Again, you're not wrong. I'm not wrong.
I know.
We're just both.
It's just really frustrating to me personally, because I just want it to be over with. And talking about it doesn't make me feel better. It literally just makes me feel worse about it.
I agree.
Well, I'm not digging on anybody. I'm not like, oh, F you, we're talking about it. Like I said, it just is me. I hate it so much. It hurts me.
Well, then we need, like I keep saying, let's move on. Let's not talk about it. Let's get past it.
Let's talk about naked bike rides.
I was just going to say that.
So what happened?
Instead of your walks, I think you should start taking naked bike rides.
I agree, and I second that.
I mean, I don't know.
And I'll follow you with a drone, dude.
I don't know how that will go as far as nowadays the police don't really arrest.
No,
yeah, you're good.
You could get away with anything.
Yeah, so it could be true. I don't know the neighbors would
shoot them.
Yeah, I don't know the neighbors.
I don't know how
comfortable
it would be for you, but
yeah,
fuck it,
I mean, even with my pants on, it hurts
guess
the
what?
nether region.
You would be thinking about other things, not like a mind racing.
yeah. Your mind wouldn't be racing. Be like, I really sure hope this doesn't get caught in a spoke or something.
This is colder than I was thinking. This is not very comfortable.
Oh yeah. Summer's coming.
All right. So next we got. Sorry, it dropped down. We got Ellen says, "Have you thought of separating choices from checking in? They seem to be naturally evolving apart."
I don't know. That's it's so there's I don't want to get too deep into it in the sense that there's a bunch of different ways of thinking about things when it comes to social, right? Like part of it is like building a network of podcasts on the same channel. So you have choices, you have checking in, and maybe eventually you have Lori, maybe eventually you have something with me. And then you can look at the other side saying people don't know what to expect. They subscribe to checking in, and then what is his choices is not Brian and Lori, or vice versa. They subscribe to choices, and then why isn't Eric and Bruce on, or whatever the case may be. So there's the train of thought that you could be confusing your audience by having two radically different podcasts.
Or all ships rise with the tide type.
And I personally, I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but I've told Noah this in the past. It's his decision what he wants to do. I personally like keeping them on the same channel. That's my personal opinion. But again, if Noah decided, hey, let's start a choices channel, I would have no problem with him doing that. But that's
I think we're too far deep now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people, for the most part, understand that there's
only two right now.
Right, two. Yeah. And I think that it will always be, it's not like we're going to bring in a podcast that doesn't have a bar check in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always going to be Lori, Noah,
one
me.
The confusing part of it is the name of the channel, checking in.
Yeah.
That's podcast checking in, then the name of the channel is checking in, but then choices is on.
Then choices is on.
I understand
if it was maybe checking in podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I just really fucked up that part. But like, something.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Where there was something poking at. I can't think of the right word, of course, because I'm fucking retarded.
Leading to the fact that it's more than one.
Right, exactly. If there was something that was just like, hey, this is a group. But I don't think it matters. Honestly, my brain's pretty toast right now. I can't really think right now, so.
That's fine.
The last one is from Tiffany Smallwood. Where's y'all dream vacation spots?
I mean, gosh, it's so hard to say, right? I mean, like, there's so many places. There's places we've been that I love, like Italy, obviously Hawaii, obviously, the Yucatan of Mexico. But there's so many places we haven't been that I would love to try to vacation. I think there's that allure like Bora Bora, and
Greece is another one that
Greece.
Greece is
another one. Yeah, we've talked about Turkey, Greece and Turkey.
Oh, that'd be awesome, Turkey. Sweet.
But I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of word out there.
Mine's Japan.
Oh, okay, Japan's cool.
I haven't been. I'd like to go to Japan.
Yeah, it's a weird country.
Yeah,
really weird country. Strange. Yeah, very bizarre.
If I lived in China, I think Japan would be cooler.
I've told people that Japan is like one of those things where when I've been there, it's like 1 minute I'm like, this is the greatest place I've ever been. It's amazing, and then the next minute it's like, I need to get out of this country because I can't stand it. It's a very weird country.
I think part of that went to your trip and your people you were with and stuff too, though. So,
well, I don't know. I mean, I was with Japanese people, and that's usually where I like to be when I'm in a different country, is with people from that country, so you don't feel.
Yes, but I do remember them not necessarily being very accommodating to you.
Well, yeah, but
that was part of your
but you
issue,
can't.
So.
Well, right, but I mean,
maybe
at the
that's
same
just
time,
how they are culturally.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You can't expect me to go and them, dote over me the whole time, and they were fine.
Can't. You're a prima donna.
No,
you're a star.
But I don't think it was that either. I don't think it was that, honestly. I think it was just the culture is just. I mean, I always tell people this, and this is by no means. Some of my favorite experiences have been in Asia, but when you are in Asia, what China, Japan, Indonesia, not Australia because that's theoretically Asia too, but it's Australasia.
Yeah.
And but because that's more American. But you never feel further away from America, correct? When we were in China, right? I mean, when you're in China, you feel so far away from America, it's not even funny, right? And so that's what I think that's the point is that Japan was the first place I had ever been over there, and so it was a culture shock. Now that I've been, I actually really enjoy it. Is what I'm saying.
Cool.
Okay.
So Murphy Pink through $2 says Glass Factory. I don't know what that's from, but
Glass Factory. I don't know.
Glass Factory.
Anyways,
sounds cool. We should go to one.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Tiffany Smallwood. My dream place is the Reptarium. I would so fangirl if I could meet y'all.
Well, I hope you can sometime, Tiffany.
Yeah.
We really would appreciate you. Andy's been to Japan. He's not only lived there, but he goes there all the time, or used to go there all the time. It's a wild world, man. I do love Japan, though. It's we should go. I think we should go for sure. I think that, and that's the thing. I think the other thing, like you talked about, Lori, is like going. It wasn't so much the people I was with, because the people I was with, I enjoyed, But if I was with you guys, I would enjoy it more, because now I'm sharing the experience with family as opposed to sharing it with just kind of casual
strangers,
casual friends.
For sure.
But I mean that I've always said this, and it is really true. Like, my favorite adventures ever have always been with you. You know what I mean? With Lori. You know what I mean? Like, that's when, like,
and it doesn't even have to be anything special, does it?
No.
It can literally be like going to fucking Target, you know what I mean? And then somebody does something goofy, and then you look at them and you're like, wow, I love you so much. You know what I mean?
No.
And then you just have this beautiful moment forever where you look back and you're like, damn, remember that time in Target when you broke the mug? That was such a great time.
It's true, though. It's so
pretend
true.
It wasn't you.
Yeah.
No, that is true, though.
So we figured out what the Glass Factory was for.
Okay.
That was for the lady that had the hairnet and the mask and the vest.
Oh, okay.
See, I was thinking
Blast
that. I was
furnace.
thinking blowing glass when she
I was
saying
too.
that
I was too.
because from that show.
From the show.
Such a cool thing. We did a glass blowing thing, and of course we talked about how Lori was going to do her own stuff. But it's
I got a coupon.
If that place, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that place ain't.
Coupon.
I was there when I bought that coupon. There's a good chance that place ain't around anymore. That place might not be surviving the Rona, man.
Can I talk about this was involved with the travel? We just passed on him real quick. So I have this one friend, Mark, that lives in Moscow, Russia.
What?
Okay. And he recently reached back out to me. We were friends from middle school, and, he was a foreign exchange student from Russia that came to live in Michigan and play hockey here, moved back to Russia, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he hit me back up, and he wanted me to come out to Russia.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, man, there's a little bit of thing going on in the world. Can't really do that right now. But we were talking, and then it was really funny. He sent me a picture of a beer that he had, and it was the funniest name of a beer ever.
What was it?
Hoegaarden.
Oh shit!
It was just HOE garden. I was just like,
that's what they call outside the club, dude.
like, I wonder what what a Hoegaarden beer, and he was just like, this is my favorite beer.
Or they call those the blind pigs after hours. The Hoegaarden. Those are Hoegaardens. Those are Hoegaardens.
That's so
but
good.
Moscow is a place I always wanted to go. I think it would be really
And
dope.
we have a friend, and I asked him, I literally asked him this exact question. I said, do they hate Americans? And he said, no, all we do is vibe, bro. I said, all we do is vibe, bro.
We're good then.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's go.
Yeah, I think
all we do is vibe, bro.
Yeah, no, I think they would be. I really would love to go there sometime.
We have a hookup. Literally, I could text them whenever, and we would go.
I want to go to that country, Georgia, that's near Russia.
Oh yeah, Georgia.
That place looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's part of the USSR. Was part of the USSR.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where Georgia was, where the top general came out saying that USSR had UFOs.
No way.
Yeah, top general from Georgia is the one that said
I love that, right?
Yeah.
I love how it kind of loops around the whole world. It's just like there's some countries that leak out. They're like UFOs, and then a year later, so they're like, yeah, guys, Russia was right.
There's UFOs.
You know what I mean? It's just like, guys, it's real. Just soak it in.
Just soak it in.
Enjoy it.
it.
Soak it in, baby.
All right, so we got Danny's. It turns out it was Czechoslovakia. Speaking of countries, Czechoslovakia. Doesn't exist. It's been split to Czechia and Slovakia. I didn't know that because I knew Slovakia. I didn't know Czechia. I thought it was Czech Republic or something.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I thought it was Czech Republic as well. Yeah, I knew Czechoslovakia. Yeah, but that's interesting. That's awesome. Now, is Prague in Czech or?
I know that's close.
I thought it was a play on your last name. I thought he was like, hey, I'm such a big fan. I'm in Czechia. I'm a Czechie in Czechia.
No,
but that's cool that it's a real place. But so we have our own exclusive fan island.
Jay, can you look that up, Bill? For
that's
me?
what I'm doing right now. It is in Czechia.
Oh, it's in
Prague,
Czechia. Yeah. So our daughter Jade went there, and she said it was one of the coolest cities she's ever been.
What? I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, she did say that. I can back that up.
She went when it was cold. It was like sub-zero, but she said it was one of the coolest cities she's ever been to.
She did say that.
So she really loved it. So we'll have to get over there.
G. Robertson through 5.
What's up?
Just for love. And then Shay says, you guys are awesome. Thumbs up.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, and listen, guys, I mean, a lot of crazy topics today, up and down, and I didn't even get to most of what I wanted to talk about today, which is fine.
That's fine. I think it went well.
Yeah.
I think that we had a good time.
Yeah. I like roller coaster podcasts that go through the motions and emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, and that's the thing about the podcast, right? Is, I mean, we always talk about, we might write down some topics and talk about things, but really we want it to just flow like a conversation.
Fluid,
and not so much. I mean, some people they want us to be more, segmented, but I don't think this particular one is, or should be.
I mean, yeah, I think it really just depends on the day,
Yeah.
Some days maybe we might just feel really passionate about one topic you bring up, and then we just roll with it, and then it just so happens to be an hour later.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes there's 10 different topics, and we talk about it for 10 minutes each. You know what I mean? And either way, I think that it's enjoyable for our true fans, and that's what matters.
I hope so. And I love the podcast.
Me too. I like it as well.
It's a good thing. And big future with that. But that being said, I think we're going to get some food.
We got one last super chat.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Speaking of food, it says, I hope we all meet one day. And also pork chops or ribs. Ribs, dude.
Ooh, ribs, man. I'm a rib guy. I'm a rib guy.
It's so hard. I'm saying ribs because it's better.
Yeah.
But
because it's better.
But I love pork chops.
You're probably a murderer.
Yeah, you might kill people.
But I love pork chops. I do love a good it has to. Have you ever had a pork chop with like that country fried steak outside, like the fried pork chop? Ooh,
it was interesting. That's all my mom made growing up. Actually, was that's I didn't know I think it wasn't until I met you that I had like a grilled pork chop. I'm like, where the hell's the breading on this shit?
Yeah, like whoa.
What's that?
Holding out?
What you can't afford breading? What
are we doing?
What do we got?
And then we just got used to it.
But I weirdly enough, I was at the store yesterday, and the one meat that seems to be pretty prevalent right now is pork chop. Pork is like obviously the pork farmers are doing well right now.
I think that
no viruses
I
there.
think that pork is probably one of the least enjoyed.
The other white meat.
The other white meat,
is probably one of the least preferred meats.
Yeah, and you think it's
in America?
That's why. That's not as much
demand.
Not as much demand.
I agree.
I love me some bacon.
You have two major religions that don't eat pork, like Jews and Muslims.
Yeah, Muslims. Yeah,
and
that is true.
The Jews love them. Thank you guys so much for watching.
We got Tony really quick.
You should have Ken and Harkin on when possible.
When this is all over, we're gonna have a lot of people on.
We can't wait. Believe me.
Yeah, we can't wait. But okay, cool. Go for it, man.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys wait real quick. Smash that to 500. I thought we said 500 likes.
81 people. We got 580.
We need 36 more likes. You guys better do that. I'm counting on you doing it. Okay, I'm just gonna count on you doing it. Thank you guys so much for all the love, all the super chats, all the comments. We love everyone, even though we couldn't get to everyone. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Stay safe, and we will see you in the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
There it is.
Another one in the bag. 8.5.